Yeah, that's right.
I think it's going to be right here.
Oh, I'm not very good at technology.
If I'm asking questions, I'll put it up for you at the top.
All right.
Anyway, guys, welcome tonight. Happy New Year. Hope you guys all had a great holiday season. We got Heath. Oh boy. Here we go. I had my other live on and I was back feeding off me. So hope you guys all had a great New Year and Christmas holidays. We have Heath and Rachel on from Hardworking Man and Andrew Easton. How you guys doing?
Doing good.
Good.
I couldn't be better. I've been looking forward to this for weeks.
Yeah.
I was just glad we were able to log in.
That's why Rachel's there to run the computer for you.
Oh, for sure.
Yes. No, he was like having issues. He couldn't figure out the Wi-Fi. Why is this not on Wi-Fi? And
I told my kids, I'm like,
down.
Come turn the Wi-Fi on. They're like, we don't know how. I'm like, I know you know how because you live on it.
They just like to keep it that way so they can just use it under the radar.
Right.
Yeah. No one would use the internet or know how to do anything if it wasn't for me. I am self-proclaimed tech support in the house. It's bad.
Yeah. It's I don't know, both it's the same with me and the wife, but the kids, they're so good on it now. It's crazy and they're young still, but which I guess is good. That's a new age. You might as well get used to it now. No point in holding them back from it.
No, yeah, my youngest boy wanted to start a YouTube channel when he was like 6.
Well, he did start one.
Oh yeah, behind our back he started a few.
And I heard him recording in another room, and he was like, "Hello, my name is Zachary, whatever." And then he gave his whole address, like where he goes to school, and I'm like, peek out the door. What are you doing? Like, what are you doing? And I'm like, you cannot do that on YouTube. He's like, what? So we put a stop to that.
Yeah, that's too much information. That's funny because on the way to hockey today with my oldest, he's like, "Daddy, I wish I had a computer so I could chat on Roblox." I'm like, "Ain't happening."
No. There's pedophiles chatting with you on Roblox.
Yeah, I'm like, that is getting shut right down. Not even close.
No, it's smart.
Yeah. So, anybody out there, you got questions for us? The same as everybody else's chat. QQQ in front of it. So I know it's questions coming up. I'm sure there's going to be lots of comments coming up. So we'll be able to answer that. And I'm sure Heath has brought a lot of chatter after his video he posted today with the Easton Made versus the Wolf Ridge 28C. Or 28C, isn't it? Magnum?
Yeah, Pro 28C with the Magnum package. Yeah. Which I think is supposed to make it faster and a bigger push plate, but it wasn't hitting the times that it was supposed to ever since he got it. I don't know why, but.
Ha! James, I love you. When is the kitchen?
Oh, we're starting already with this?
Yeah, I don't know. Do they sell kitchens in Canada? Because that's probably the only chance I'm getting a kitchen anytime soon, James.
You have a hard time finding a kitchen in Canada.
No. Wow. Funny story. We already have cabinets. We've had them for 3.5 years. Yeah.
That's the hard part.
I'm glad you think that's funny.
I hate remodeling. I hate it.
I'm so glad we're done. When we moved into Dad's house here, I bought Dad's house off him and the big shop and everything when they moved Easton Made out here, and we were probably 3 years worth of renovations. Like, it wasn't even stuff that was like, it was major renovations, but like, it wasn't like there was anything wrong with the house before. I don't know why we had to do them, but we did. So
yeah, our house was built in 1980 and everything in it was from 1980, and we've got almost everything done except the kitchen. Well, 80 to 90% done. I don't finish anything.
No, he's like a 95%er on projects.
Yeah, that was the same as our house. It was built in 87, and it was I think it was ash. I think all the cabinets were ash, and like it was just to the point where it looked really dated. And same as like the siding on the outside of it was all tongue and groove siding. The woodpeckers that got added, so it was there was a lot. It was pretty extensive by the time it was all said and done. So
yeah, everything. It's like the whole if you give a mouse a cookie book. So like the floor has to be done, the ceiling, the cabinets, the backsplash, I want like part of a wall taken out. Like there's just it just keeps going. So we're like, don't know where to even start.
Yeah, it's what you did to your place, Andrew. It's beautiful now. Like how open that open concept and the big island. That's awesome.
Yeah, it opened it up a lot. Like it was not even really chopped up before, just not as good of a layout as it could have been. But like back in 1987, like you had like literally a set of blueprints, and this is how we're going to build it, right? So
Yeah,
Yeah.
there wasn't an open concept. Nobody wanted that. They wanted closed off.
Yeah, like all the real older homes, like everything's a door. They were doors at the time.
Right.
Everything was a doorway with an actual door. It's weird now that everything's got it. I think it's nicer wide open.
I think
yeah,
it's
like right here there was well, I call it a telephone wall. I don't know what it would be. It was a useless wall, and all it did was held the telephone, so it was nice and close to the telephone wall. It had held the clock too, so those are two important things because
Clock
you
and the
didn't have
phone.
those in your pocket at that time, right? So,
Yeah. What do? You like push the phone jack into the wall and like drive all over it?
Yeah,
That's
because
what
when we
Heath
bought
does.
this house, it had a phone hanging on the wall, and the kids are like, "What is that?" That's how we used to talk to people.
That's funny.
No, Jeff, the lights are still up.
They're staying up. There's Christmas again next year, Jeff. Why would I take them down?
I got the lights up after 20 years. We are not taking them down. We will be lit up until they're burned out, probably.
That's funny. I took mine down last weekend, just because it was actually nice weather, and I'm like, I'll take them down now, and then I don't have to worry about them for the rest of the winter. So they're gone.
I mean, we could turn them off, like unplug them, but why?
Wait,
It's still dark when I come home every night, and I like the lights.
You leave them on year round too?
No,
I
I've never
have not had them for 20 years.
I've never put them up before. It's dangerous up there.
Jeffrey fully shamed Heath into getting us lights this year. It was like him and Patty stalking every day. Like, do you get those lights up? Get those lights up. So he's like, I have to, or I have to block them. Like
Well, they were putting up the lights, and I'm like, man, this guy puts up lights every year, and I felt bad. And then I find out this is the first year he ever put them up either.
So I got my lights, but they're still lit up every night. But
That's, I guess neither one of you like heights, then, eh?
no,
Oh, I don't mind heights.
He doesn't care. I thought he was going to die. I couldn't even watch him. My fear of heights was so bad just watching him, like, because our roof is pretty slanted, and he's just sitting there squatted, and I'm like, you're gonna fall. I can't watch. It was a little scary. But the alternative idea was to have him go in the tractor bucket and me like lift it up and just drive down. I was like, I don't know about that.
He wasn't up there with like the staple gun, stapling them
No.
up.
No, they're all hung on the gutters, and then I stapled them around all the doors and windows.
Yeah, the memories of the Christmas vacation.
Oh yeah,
Right.
yeah. One of the guys I work with, he was putting up lights a couple years ago, and he fell off the ladder, and on the way down, his leg went between the rungs and just exploded it. So I'm like, I'm never putting up Christmas lights. It's dangerous.
Yeah, that's been his experience. But I haven't worked there as long as we've been married, and I've been begging since we've been married.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of heights, but I'll put the Christmas lights aren't too high for me. But we're a single story house, so a story and a half, so we got low line. So I'm not really that high if I fall.
Listen, 3 feet's too high for me to fall. So
I haven't fallen yet. My brother fell off a roof, and he's still fine. So
what brother?
Jordan, when they're plumbers, and he was doing something, and he fell off. He just climbed back up there and got back to work.
My buddy, he was doing roofs up, whatever, extension ladder all the way out, and it went down. He just rode it all the way down as the bottom kicked out. Same thing, put it back up and back to work.
Yeah, another guy I worked with, we were talking the other day, he had his ladder at way too steep of an angle, and the neighbor's ring camera caught it, and he was going up it, and it fell down, and he shattered both of his ankles. So I don't work with people that are good on ladders.
Now you wonder why workplaces have the you got to do the fall course for ladders now.
Right.
I guess you haven't had to deal with that there, have you, Andrew?
Oh yeah,
Working at heights?
we used to do a lot of it, honestly, because back when we were doing the mill rating service, everybody had to have a working at height certificate and all that kind of jazz, right?
Yeah.
This guy though, I'm terrified of heights. I absolutely 100% hate them. I'm not a chance.
You're not letting Heath raise you in a bucket to take good video.
The tractor bucket wouldn't be too bad, but like depends on the situation. There's one plant in town here that when you get to the top of it, you're a long ways looking down, and it's that's not for me.
No.
Yeah, when she started hunting, like she'd try to get up in a ladder stand, and she'd get towards the top, and she's like, I don't know, like I'm like, come on, it's 15 feet, like you can make it. And
That
now she
was
does
when you
good on
still,
ladder
like,
stands, but
You had like 3
Oh, yeah.
ladders. So
I
it was
would
like
make them a little
25
taller, but-
feet. And I don't know, my legs started, I would get up so far and I'd be like, I'm going to do it. I'm good. Like all that talk, like convince myself and get high enough. And my legs were like, wee, like, don't make me do it. Yeah. No.
We got William Klein. He just finished watching Splitter Wars.
I would say that video was fun to make, but it wasn't. I had
The
so
first
many
time.
problems making that. Like it was fun content, but we had the first time we recorded it, Doug was over and he was running his Wolf Ridge and I was running the 1222, and we lost audio on more than half of the film. Like we'd have one and it would have the audio, and then we'd stop the GoPro and start it again, and the next one would have none.
Right.
And it was just random, so we don't know what it was. And then we tried to film it again, Rachel and I, but it was just the two of us. So I hooked it to the tractor bucket and we thought it was good. And we did the whole thing again and went in the house to watch it. And I was cut off like right here, and you couldn't see any of the end of her. She was running the Easton made that time, and you couldn't see any of the wood getting pushed through the wedge. I'm like, that's not going to work. So then we did it again, and my youngest boy got home from school, so he recorded us. And then the editing took forever from all of the clips trying to put together. And then today it just wouldn't save on my phone, kept failing and failing and failing, and finally went through. So
it's one of those, like we were talking earlier, when you want something to get something loaded or uploaded, it just never goes your way. Everything just seems to go wrong.
Yeah, I wanted to get that up before today, and I told a few people, because she did a community post the other day that it was coming. She took a picture when we were filming, and so people are like, hey, when are these videos coming out? And I'm like, Saturday morning. I'm never doing that again. I'll never tell you a video's coming unless it's ready to go.
Well, yeah, because we're sitting at a school. We were at a wrestling tournament all day. So we're like in a high school, which could either have good cell service or terrible. So he's like going out in the parking lot, coming inside. Like, well, it just keeps quitting. He's like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah, it's probably the only advantage of being in town is we're on fiber optics. So we're before I even have the description typed in, the video's uploaded. Like it's quick.
We just have cable, not fiber optics. Fiber optics would be nice. Is that an Ultra, Andrew?
What's that?
Is that an Ultra?
It was an Ultra. I'm on a diet, you see.
See,
That's a runner's beer.
I went with the old Canadian Labatt Blue Lights today.
Labatt Blue Light. Wow.
The big ones, though, it doesn't fit in my holder very good.
That's the difference between the cans. Your cans are a little bit smaller than ours.
Yeah, I grab them over there sometimes when I'm over. I come over to Canada to buy stuff.
I went into duty free for the first time the other day. It's a pretty interesting store. I thought it was just alcohol, and I was like, what is all of this?
It really is it not? Perfume and
there's some perfumes and
makeup,
alcohol and like stuff you don't really need.
Yeah, it's mostly just alcohol. That's what it is.
No, all that perfume and cologne and makeup and clothing and food. There was a lot more. I thought it was just going to be like a liquor store.
Yeah, no, it's in maple syrup. You buy maple syrup in there too.
We make our own maple syrup.
Yeah.
For the first year ever last year, and we're going to do it again this year. I collect the sap. My buddy makes the syrup, so it's easy for me.
Right.
I don't know which is it. If you're dumping pails, that gets kind of boring after a while.
I would like to cook it down, but he has the whole setup, and it's easier. I drop off sap and pick up syrup. So
Yeah.
That's a pretty good deal.
yeah. I give him half and I keep half, and it's plenty for us. So
Mark's wondering, is this going to be as long as your first live stream?
I don't know.
Which I didn't. How long was your first one?
It was a little over 2 hours.
It was a little over 2
2
hours.
hours.
It
There was
took
a
us.
lot of questions. There was a lot of commenting back and forth. Like it flew by. I didn't even realize
seem
it was
long.
that long. No.
Brad from Firewood at the Furnace was like, "Do you guys have any moderators?" And we're like, "Oh, what's a moderator?"
Well, I was going to moderate. I didn't realize how much I
Yeah.
would be.
And so he's like, "I'll do it," and he didn't know that it was going to be. I mean, it wasn't that long after Brad and Andrew did theirs, but
The world record.
we're going to come for that record when we do our next live. Maybe we'll start it early.
It's tough. That was a weeknight too. You did that, Andrew.
A Thursday.
It was.
Yeah.
It was a Thursday. It was a weekend. Good thing I was on holidays because like I wouldn't have been able to get out of bed being up that late.
Imagine if you had to call in.
Right. Sorry, I was on a live stream last night. I can't make it.
Do
You
you
got
have to call into
shives up?
work and tell them you're not coming when you don't show up, Andrew, or you just don't show up?
I'll normally call them and let them know. I'm normally there by 7:00 or 7:15 most mornings. So the odd morning I might be in there for like 6 or a little after 6, but it's not. That doesn't happen too terribly often.
Yeah, I'm not a morning person really, but
I'm not at all. I'm not. I wish I could be a morning person, but I'm not even a little bit.
no.
No. I would like to be.
I'm not a morning person, but I'm up early all the time. But like weekends, I don't mind sleeping until 7 or 8. If the kids don't get us up at 6:30.
See, we're past
Or
that
earlier.
stage. Our kids don't get us up
Oh.
anymore. So
No, we don't even see the kids. Like during Christmas break, it'd be like noon or 1 till anybody came out of their room.
Yeah, Thursday.
They were up till like 3 a.m, keeping me up then, and so it's the reverse.
Yeah, Thursday morning they were up at 5 o'clock, both of them. I'm like, oh my goodness, go back to bed.
Right. How old are they?
6 and 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, way too.
you got little ones too, right, Andrew?
Yeah. I've got Jack's turning 8, Ashton's turning 5, and Gus is turning 2. So there's 3 years between all of them. So 3 boys.
Almost time for another one then.
No, I think we're done there now. I'm pretty sure we've got enough of them.
If you don't have 4, you're underachieving. That's all I gotta say.
No, 4 changes everything because you need special vehicles. Because you got to buy,
Yes.
like, if you have a truck,
Yeah.
you need a bench front seat. You got to smuggle kids into hotels, or they charge you extra.
Mhm.
There's no family plans at amusement parks that cover a family of 6. So
Now,
I say
eating
3.
out.
3 is the max.
They were like during COVID, and they were like limiting how many people could sit at a table. We had to have our family split apart. They wouldn't even let us sit together.
Yeah, I
They're
could
like-
stand at the table and eat, but they're like only 5 people per table.
Yeah.
I'm like, we're a family. They're like,
Right.
nope, only 5. You can stand here. I'm like, so if I sit in a chair, I'm more dangerous.
Right.
I didn't get it.
It was really stupid. But.
Yeah. We got James, hardworking man. Are you going to hire Jeffrey to repaint the 1222?
That just shows that it's been used and it's still going. That's character. The other thing, I bought it used, and they've put, I don't know how much, they have 400 hours on it, and it was sort of a side business for them. They said they talked to you, Andrew, at the Paul Bunyan show, the people I bought that 1222 from,
Who do you
about
buy
a
it from, no?
processor. I don't remember what their names were. They said they talked to you about a processor, but you, like the one that you were making at the time, was too big for them. And they ended up going with a Wallenstein, I think.
Oh, yeah, I know who you're talking about. Karen.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been talking to them. Yeah, that's exactly right. Why am I? Questions coming up on my phone here for you guys. And speaking about coming to Canada and buying, you love your cross-border shopping.
I do, especially right now because our dollar's worth more. So it's like everything's on sale.
Save 30%.
Yeah.
So what do you use when you're coming? Do you use Kijiji?
It's mostly Facebook Marketplace. I look on Kijiji sometimes, but I forget about it a lot because we don't have that over here. We have Craigslist, which I think is probably the equivalent, but that's not very popular anymore either. Facebook Marketplace, I think, has pretty much taken over.
I think.
Yeah. So how you just come across and come back? Do you ever get any problems like coming back across the border?
No, it gets busy sometimes.
He knows
but,
a guy.
Yeah, I know a lot of them. But
Yeah,
I actually on Marketplace, I moved my search location to cover most of Canada because there's just better deals over there, especially vehicles, because you guys have the safeties and we don't have those. So once a vehicle gets a little older and it just starts needing little things, it's perfect for me because we have 3 kids that drive and they don't need a perfect car and they're still in good shape. So I come over there and get them and then bring them back. I like older cars.
He loves buying little beater cars. It's like makes him happy. It's a dopamine fix.
Sunbirds. What are you buying them? What kind of cars?
Oh, I just bought a 07 Chevy Silverado.
Yeah.
Which luckily, because my oldest boy was home from college and his car broke down while he was home over Christmas break, so he took that. And then my 16-year-old was going to be driving it, so now he's left with nothing till we get something else. So I've been shopping again. And I bought a Mazda 2 for myself, which I hate, but I have a 1-ton dually diesel, and I got sick of buying $5+ a gallon diesel and tires. And so I love the truck. I still have it, and I want to keep it forever, but I couldn't drive it every day. So I got that little car, and everyone made fun of me. But so I'm going to
daily driving a dually is very, very difficult to do. It's very expensive, very quickly.
Oh yeah, it does.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I went to look for tires the other day, and 2 tires is over $700. I'm like,
Yeah, I know quite a few guys. They'll have like a diesel truck, and they'll just get like a little beater car to take back and forth to work.
That's what I do. That's what that Mazda was, but it's a stick shift. And I want my kids to learn how to drive a stick, but like my 16-year-old, I don't want him to learn to drive and learn to drive a stick at the same time. So I'm going to get rid of that and pick up he is still learning, and pick up a little automatic. So if he has to take it, he can take that.
Yeah. Good way to do that though, too, for learning. That's for sure.
Yeah.
What was that car you made me drive to Chicago that only had 1 headlight?
It had 2 headlights, only 1 worked.
Right.
It was just a Honda Civic.
A Honda Civic.
Another little beater car.
It was from our daughter's softball tournament. They like won the state tournament, and we went to, it was regionals, I guess, in Chicago. And so I drove that because he's like, you're going to save gas mileage. He's all about saving gas. Like,
I got to spend the money on splitter.
Right. So the dad, like there was like a grandpa there, like watching his granddaughter play. And he's like, you can't drive that car with only 1 headlight. And I go, no, I just put the brakes on and then they work. And it was like 5 years later, I saw him at a bar and he's like, dear, you're not still driving that car, are you? And I was like, no. He couldn't even believe that. They're like, go to the dealer. And I'm like, do you know who I'm married to? There's not a chance in hell I'm allowed to go to a dealer to do anything. Unless they're in Canada now.
The dealer's Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah,
Right.
no, it was just funny. Like they just were blown away that I was driving a car with 1 headlight. I'm like, no. It's a small car. You put the brakes on. Nobody cares. Like,
that's why they give you 2 headlights.
Right. I usually would drive that car, but I was saving some money with the long road trip.
Right. I felt like I was like in Fast and the Furious driving that stupid thing. It was like, like everywhere I went.
So William wanted to know, doing your splitter wars, was there any surprises doing the comparison between the splitters?
I'd say not really. I've run that Wolf Ridge before. Doug brought it over, and so I sort of knew what was going to happen when we did it, but no, it was pretty much what we expected, other than the technical difficulties. And it like Doug loves that splitter
He loves
because
it.
he can move it around easy, and he just works by himself and all that. He just has the 4-way. That's why we did the 4-way, because I would have liked to have done other things, because we've got the 4-way and the 6-way and the box wedge for that 1222. And then for our all wood, we have a 4-way and a 8-way and a 6-way. But I figured, if he just has the 4-way, that's the best way to compare them,
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
You were saying, Andrew, you thought putting the 6-way would.
I think if the 6-way were on it, depending on the size and type of wood, I bet you'd be a little bit closer just because of just because of I think the 1222 would slow down a little bit more than the Wolf Ridge would. Just when it gets into like doing 6-phase, but maybe not.
I don't think it would, because we had some, and I wish it would have worked out because it was on the video with no audio. I don't know what type of wood it was. I'm not a tree expert. It was either elm, or some people said maybe it was a type of hickory, but it's extremely tough to split. It slows down like the all wood, the 1222, whatever you put it on, it works to get through it. And we did that in a comparison, and it was just the 4-way, but it's still like, it basically smashes it through the wedges, and the 1222 still beat that.
Yeah.
And he would have to hold the levers forward, so it could be out of adjustment like the 1222 was when I got it. But also I adjusted the 1-stage to 2-stage pump thing like you showed me, and that made it even.
He did that after we already did 2 comparisons.
Yeah, so the third comparison,
it made it look like he was way faster on the Easton Made than I was, because he was.
I run those machines.
I mean,
smoothly.
Heath is like sprinting between each thing, but no, because when I got done doing the Wolf Ridge, I think I had like 11 logs left, and when you got done, I had 11 logs, and then when I did the Easton Made and he did the Wolf Ridge, there was like 5 or 6. So it did make that big of a difference with him making the adjustment.
Yeah, when you can turn the pump up a little wee bit, like I don't know whether the relief valves like seat in a little bit better over time, but if you turn them up and adjust them, you can normally get quite a bit better performance out of it.
Yeah, it did. But it was cool to do, and we tried to do, like we said, we did it as fair as possible.
If y'all could have seen me picking the logs,
she sorted the logs.
Like I was like, I don't know what they were. I couldn't tell you what kind of tree it was, but I'm like looking at the bark, like this one and this one, and I would split them perfect. Like, are they the same size? Like, I would even hold them up. I wanted it to be like even Steven, so no one could be like, "Wow, you ran all easy ones on this one and hard ones on that." Like, no.
Yeah, because you'll watch videos and people will be like, "I split however many pieces in this amount of time, and it's all poplar." Like, oh yeah, I could have done that faster with a Fiskars.
Like if one had a knot sticking out the side, the other one had the same thing. Like it was. And then I had to do it all again, and then do it all
again. we helped some.
No,
but I was doing other stuff. People say she does all the work. I work a lot behind the
scenes,
getting stuff ready. I'm like, who would you rather watch? I mean, let's be honest.
The comments are always funny to me. Like they think I work so hard. I'm like, I just moving logs. I don't know. I'm not.
You do work hard.
I just don't think of it as hard work.
It's all just done in the editing to make it look like you work hard.
Right.
That must be it. No, but seriously, Heath is like, all right, we got to go record. And so I'm like, all right, I'll get ready, camera ready. And then he goes out there, and I'm so annoyed when I come out and everything's not set up. So
I will say though, like watching her run the splitter versus me, it just is smoother when she runs it. I don't know why. Like I try to move fast and be, because I don't like especially if I'm doing a test, I like to have that wood ready as soon as it's, and she does it like effortlessly. So it looks, I guess, smooth as fast, but
she got that practice in before you started.
She did. We are quite competitive.
That was just to see what the camera was looking like. That's so fun.
No, we're very competitive. She has tennis elbow right now from beating the kids at badminton.
At badminton, you're not going to beat me in any game. Let me tell you. I took him down. Not a kid could beat me either. I mean, I'm like, that's pretty good when you have all teenage boys and mom wins.
One teenage girl.
But yeah, No, like they
Yeah, we
were
are
very
competitive
since
at
they were
everything.
little. Like no one's winning at anything. You want to win at
You better beat
any
us.
game, you better bring your A game. Like we're not, and we are not gracious when we win either. We're like, you suck. Like, you got to have thick skin to live in this house.
Yeah, the smack talk.
Yeah. Oh, it's big. It is big. No artificial pumping of egos here. You got to earn it.
There's James saying, Andrew, I'm not a morning person. It gets in the office by 7.
Right. Sometimes at 6, he said.
Right. Sometimes I'm like, we had to leave the house at 7 today. And we're like, oh my gosh, it's the dead of the night. Like that was bad.
Yeah, I was up till 4:30 trying to edit that Splitter Wars video. And then I went to bed and it was like a few minutes later and the alarm's going off. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, I'm so tired because I worked all night and then came home and tried to get that video done because I told people it was coming Saturday morning. I think when did it go live? Around noon or 1?
Yeah, it was probably around noon. Noon it went live.
Yeah, I wanted it up by like 8, 9, but it was challenging to say the least.
Yeah, some of them can be.
It's hard working nights. I worked nights for probably 3 or 4 years, and it was. I don't know if I could do it again. It was terrible.
See, I've been midnights. So, like with me, with the kids, we have 4 kids that all have done sports. Now, 2 of them are in college, so that makes it easier. But I'm as busy now as I've ever been with this channel and just with everything. But midnights. So at my job, day shift is the worst for the work atmosphere. Afternoons is probably one of the best. Midnights is boring, but if I'm on midnights, I can make all the kids' sports. I don't get to sleep much, but I get to do everything. And I'm on afternoons this year for the first time in a long time. I work 2 to midnight, and I just don't like it because I don't get as much stuff done in the morning. When I was on midnights, I'd work all night, go up to our hunting property and sleep, and then come home and then work, in the afternoon and go to kids' sports and everything, and then just stay up all night till I went to work. But did you bring me one?
You didn't say you needed one.
Yeah, they're in the utility room.
Looks like Shibe, he got to try his new toy out. Overwhelming is what he says.
You need, with any of these quality splitters, you need a couple people if you want to run it to its potential.
Yeah.
For sure you do.
And the faster the splitter, I think, the more beneficial it is to have extra people.
Yeah.
Like Doug works a lot, like with that Wolf Ridge, he works a lot by himself. And with that, I was waiting on it more than it was waiting on me, if that makes sense. Or with the 1222, you're never waiting on it. Or with the Allwood, you're never waiting on it. No. It's waiting on you to get the next log into it. So I guess that's a difference. Somebody commented on that video today. They're like, yeah, but you got to think about the fact that with the faster machine, you got to work harder and you're going to get tired and slow down. I'm like, Rachel and I don't slow down. We're machines. Like,
right.
We don't slow down. What are you talking about?
Right. There's no time for that.
Is there more wood to split? Let's go.
So I said you could just get your work done sooner and go take a nap with the faster machine.
Oh, everyone's tuning in now. Iron and Oak had their premiere, so now they're on.
Yeah. I saw that. I didn't realize it was at 8 at night. I thought it, because he usually did them 8 in the morning, I thought. It must have changed. Kind of
I'm still learning what a premiere. I've never done a premiere. We've done one live. Like, I'm learning as I go, and it's been like, ever since the Paul Bunyan show, it's been like drinking from a fire hose. Because stuff's been going so fast, and I'm trying to keep up. And luckily, I got Rachel, but I think she makes my channel busier.
We got Adam Mogi, my buddy there. How you doing? We got Jesse Hodges. Hello to my Canadian friends from New York. I've been talking to him for a bit. And Jeffrey, Could be worse. Could be living in a van down by the river.
Right.
Sometimes I think that'd be cool.
I don't know. We could afford that.
I look at vans to buy sometimes for hunting mobiles when I go on hunting trips.
Oh, yeah.
So they ask Shibe, will that 1222 going to make its video debut on your channel Tuesday? So go and check out Shibe's Outside with Shibe on Tuesday for his video premiere. We are going to.
I was just reading Dick from Old Guy Firewood says, "Bring me my beer." That live stream with Dan at Back 40 at the Paul Bunyan show, and I yelled to Rachel. I said, "Bring me a beer, girl," or something. Everybody booed me. I'm like, I was thirsty.
I was like, "Thank you." He was out of control. He was like something else. He's lucky I stuck around. Just go up to the room to get away from him.
So Andrew, do you think the old wood will keep up to the 1222?
I think the all-wood will be faster if the deck is loaded. I think if it's like picking a log up and putting it on, it'll be closer. But I think the all-wood will be faster than the 1222 will, pretty easily.
So that all wood we have does not have the auto cycle. They now come with the auto cycle, but I didn't want the auto cycle because if the kids are running it or whatever. I just thought it would be easier. Now that I have learned more about auto cycle, I sort of wish I had got it. But that would, like Andrew said the other day, I was chatting with him, and that all wood is more probably cost and performance with the 37D, right?
I would think it'd be close for a 37D, yeah. And in that regards, I would think they'd be
like, we're gonna do a comparison video, but it's when you compare splitters that cost quite a bit different. I mean, it's not like a race. It's if you want this, then maybe you're gonna pay more.
Right. Like if you want to pay more for something, this is what you could get, or if you want this size of a machine versus the small, like to have the Wolfridge versus the Allwood, it's not a true comparison. We're not comparing. The 1222
and that Wolf, if you get the Wolfridge just bone stock on the floor, it's cheaper. But if you get it with what the 1222 comes with, they're pretty comparable.
If you get that 28 with all the options on it, we're within a couple $100.
Yeah, you got to add the cooler, you got to add the auto cycle, you got to add the Magnum package. They're fairly comparable.
They're like once you start adding all that up, it starts to get a lot more expensive.
And so that was more of like I guess a head-to-head comparison, like very similar cost, and you see what you get for it. And we didn't put our opinion into that video. We just wanted to show people the difference between the two, and you can make your decision because, there's different depending what you do. One might suit you better, but we're like, you know what? This is what these two are because those are the two I had access to. And if you're in the market for a splitter and these are two you're thinking about, here's the differences between them and how they run next to each other. So,
and I honestly don't think you go wrong with either one of them. Like if you buy one of those Wolfridge machines, they're a great machine, and Chris is a great guy to look after you. So I don't think there'd be any downfall to buying one or the other. So
no, it's like a lot of stuff. Like I'm a huge hunter, archery equipment. In the past 10, 15 years, like people are like, oh, Matthews or, any of the big names, Matthews, Bowtech, or with crossbows, you got Excalibur and you got 10-point, you got Raven. All of them are awesome. It's just what fits you, what suits your needs better. They're all a little different. If we all like the same thing, it would be boring.
Yeah, there'd be no need for multiple manufacturers.
Yep. Competition helps grow the industries.
Oh, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And improve them.
That's probably the funnest part for me.
I love it because
try trying to do something better than the next guy. That's the funnest part of it.
Right. It drives people like Andrew to be like, oh, you can do that? Let me see what I can do. And like
Hold
Bobby Smallwood, he builds some crazy machines. Like a lot of manufacturers build great machines, but I will say personally, from what we've seen, like the Allwood and the Easton made when we were at Paul Bunyan walking around, they're sort of like how they're built is just a little different, if that makes sense.
Well, because when we were at Paul Bunyan, I think I'd been on the channel like twice. Like I hadn't even really ran a splitter. I didn't even honestly know what the log splitters like did. Like I have learned a lot in a short time, but we're walking around and I was like, these are the competition. Like there wasn't competition in my eyes. It was very clear what machines were built better, sturdier. I was like, these look like they're made out of tinfoil that somebody's going to go sell at Dollar General. But that was just my opinion.
Yeah, but it's that you got to hit every guy's hitting other price points too, right?
But that's the thing is price is huge. A lot of people, that's all they care about is the price. And so it's perfect that there's machines for them to buy. That's not an axe. Like it's awesome.
Yeah, exactly. You know, for the guy doing 4 quart a year to heat their own home, they don't need a $20,000 splitter.
No, not at all. And there's good examples of that in the industry too. Like one that comes to mind is an American log splitter. Right, they're not a particularly heavy built machine or particularly fast machine. But if you're looking for a budget machine that's going to work well for you, and like if you're doing a small amount of wood, like they're a great machine. Like I would wholeheartedly steer somebody in that direction to buy one of them because they're a good machine.
Yeah.
I started on a Husky, was my first log splitter ever, a 35-ton Husky, which, Andrew, I got a question for you. Is any of the ratings regulated? Like if you put a machine out and say this is a 30-ton, is there anyone that checks that?
No, not at all. Like that's kind of the neat thing about this industry. There's almost zero regulations on any of it, honestly.
You know, because when I didn't know anything, I just was like, oh my gosh, 35 tons, that's the best machine going. So then you buy it, you know. That was, 15 years ago probably. Because when I started doing firewood, I'm like, I'm splitting everything with them all. Well, that didn't last long because some stuff doesn't like to split with them all. And Rachel doesn't like, she tried, she couldn't
it's like my
one.
life's ambition to just be out there and just like, and just split wood and be impressive. But I think I'm just a little too scared that I'm going to hit my foot or my leg. So I don't like give it my all. And I don't know. I think like Heath has no fear of injuries or death where I do. So that might be part of it.
Yeah. Cause when you brought up that six-way question, I was like, you know what? Cause I know some machines like yours, I've watched videos before where you're like a 15-ton machine competes with a box store 30-ton, you know, like for just how they're rated. And I know like engines here in the US, like they changed, I believe, how they're rated because they used to be rated by horsepower and manufacturers were pushing numbers and whatever. And now I think they're just rated by CC maybe. I could be wrong, but I was curious to ask you if there was any regulation on that because you could literally put out anything and put a number on it and people are like, wow, that's impressive when it doesn't mean anything.
No, and that's exactly like the last two videos I did were exactly that. Like the firewood processor production rate was the one like most manufacturers like so overly exaggerate the production number on a firewood processor. It's just unattainable. Like you might hit that number once in a while, like very few and far between, but you're not going to average that. And same as I did a video on the vertical splitters. That was the biggest reason I got into even building the Axis is just to be able to build a machine kind of the same as what the other guys were doing and do a better job of it, but then be able to highlight what the misconceptions are on it. Like performance is one of them. Like the big thing with the other vertical splitters, they say they're a lot faster. They're not. They're about half the speed. And then the tonnage rating on them, they rate them at like 28 and 30 tons. And like if you actually put a gauge on it and like see where it is, they're like 8 or 9 tons.
Right.
Which is too bad because the machines work really well. Like the other machines work awesome, but again, they're just trying to blow smoke up people to make a sale, right?
Right. And that makes sense. I was just curious because when I saw that today, I'm like, you know what? I want to ask Andrew this.
Yeah, it's I know what like some of the processor numbers, and you see them, and it's like, yeah, like how they get those numbers is just unrealistic in the real world.
Probably Rachel running the machine, getting the just max
I am a
performance out of
pro.
it.
I'm just so smooth that
And
it
she
just
practices
looks like it's
beforehand, so
well, like this practices. I literally do look like I'm practicing. I'm like
You were
pretending to grab
practicing, you're
logs,
trying to beat
pretending
me.
to. I didn't need to practice.
So we got Iron and Oak. Chuck is here now. Actually, he's been here for a bit, but sorry, I didn't realize you were doing your premiere tonight, Chuck. I hope that went well for you. Be checking that video out for you. And we got, for you, Andrew, a question. How much do you think social media has affected your sales? As in,
huge.
or how
huge.
much does it help sales?
Absolutely huge. Like we don't advertise really any other way. We put an ad in the Lumberman's Equipment Digest. Noah and Brady are awesome to work with, so that's why we continue to do that. And besides shows, we don't advertise. Besides social media, that's it. And the thing with social media too, and you guys will notice this as well. The key thing with it's saturation. Whether or not you guys are putting videos out every day or not, or people are continually seeing your brand, which with social media, it's so easy to do. And in my situation, we can have very, very direct marketing, even if it's to a small group of people, but it's to the right people.
right.
Yeah, exactly. Like putting an ad in a farming magazine where you're not really hitting that market.
No. And we have what they call the International Plowing Match up here in Canada. And it's a huge, huge farm show. And people always ask me why I don't ever do it. I have done it a couple of times, but it's normally a bunch of old guys going around kicking tires. There's absolutely no interest. It's more or less just an outing for people that don't really have any relevance to what we're doing anyways. So
yeah, that's exactly right. And they can build it in their shop in the winter when they're not farming.
That's exactly it. And they have all day to tell you all about it.
Yeah.
Ask you a few questions of what you've been working on for years so they can try to copy it in the shop.
Yeah. And what we're working on. What are you working on now, Andrew? This is kind of now we got Doug's thing done. What do you got to talk about?
Well, we have a smaller firewood processor that's going to be going into production here very, very shortly. It's going to be it's going to hit that smaller price point, and it's we're thinking it's going to be a circular sleeve, and it's going to be something that's going to be pretty impressive, and hopefully we'll have it that it's half easy to run. So that's good.
That Rachel could run.
Rachel could run it all day.
Listen, I just want to be able to say I'm running the processor. That's it. I just I love that you say processor. Does it bother you when all of us American people say processor?
Oh, it drives me nuts.
I bet it does.
Yeah, I mean, you people your damn Z's instead of Z's. That
like when you called it a processor, I was like, ooh, that's fancy.
It's funny because we're from the other side of the state, so we weren't exposed to this till I moved over here. And then you hear sorry and processor,
there's
and I'm
a
like,
lot of people that work here from
you guys
Canada.
literally live like 3 miles away, and we talk completely differently.
Yeah, weird. So we just we talk and we say sorry to each other just for fun. But yeah, we have lots of Canadian friends that have come over here and married American people who had kids and live over here. So it's just funny. But I do. I love hearing processor. I'm like, we gotta get one of those on the channel so I can say Rachel's running the processor today. I don't even know what it is, to be honest. I know nothing.
So doing a story, do you know what size circular saw is going to be on that processor?
I think around 40 inch, but we're going to try and run it with the 902 Kubota. We're going to try and run it with the 23 horsepower Kubota. So it's essentially going to be like a 24D or a 37D with a 40-inch carbide tooth saw on it. So instead of being, it's gonna be like a buzz saw instead of being a slasher saw. So Paylax has done this very successfully for years. Same as Hacky Pilkey. They've done them with like a smaller, stricter saw for years, very successfully. I know a handful of people that have them and are really, really happy with the performance of the saw and the longevity of the saw. So hopefully we'll be able to build something like that performs with that rate of production, but heavy enough that you could actually put an operator on him, not destroy it.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of the biggest thing with the smaller processors is that they they don't hold up very well. If you put somebody on a smaller machine that isn't familiar with the operation of it or hasn't run one or hasn't been around to wood a lot, they'll tear one to pieces in hours.
Yeah, and that's true. Trying to do too much with it and think they can. Yeah. So when you get that built, you're gonna bring that down to the yard so we can test it out.
Oh, absolutely. You're like the first stop.
Hey, you're only 2.5 hours away. Give us a call.
Give us a call. We'll be over.
We'll just keep driving. We'll just hook up the truck and just keep going around the circle.
Come on down.
You're going to have a line of people saying, add me to your stop, add me to your stop.
Oh, yeah. I know. Well, when we just went down to Missouri, people are like, where are you going? I'm an hour and a half from there. And I was like, do they want to meet up? I don't know.
Just get a party bus, Andrew, and we'll just collect people as we go.
Oh, we should do that.
Just have a nationwide tour.
That'd be fun.
That would be fun.
We'll just drive around, stop off, split everybody's wood, and then head home.
We got Joe here. Hi, Skitter Cav, Andrew, Heath, and Rachel. Mike and I will be putting the Ultra through the ringer tomorrow morning in my live stream. Time for some THC overload so I can sleep.
THC overload? Be careful, Joe.
Joe is from not far from my hometown, and early on in our channel, I went over to his house to run the Ultra because I was looking for it there. And that thing is smooth and fast. I don't know. I was impressed from the beginning when I ran that thing. Joe's put it through its paces. Don't get me wrong.
And from our standpoint, that's we gave it to Joe because we knew Joe was going to.
He's going to flip.
I knew Joe was going to run it. I knew he was going to run and show people that this is how it runs. And he was one of the first YouTube guys we worked with was Joe.
Yeah, we were there. I brought my nephew and my son, and he's like, you guys are going to have to stop. I'm running out of wood. I need more. I need some leftover for content.
Heath, you don't have to answer this now if you don't want to. What do you do at work?
I work in law enforcement.
Okay.
I'll leave it sort of vague, I guess.
Okay.
Secret agent.
If I told you, I'd have to kill you.
Right.
Do you know James Bond?
I can't answer that question.
Right. James Bond is an alias.
I cannot confirm nor deny. Old guy, bring me my beer. Never forget, Rachel.
I'll never forget. It was pretty bad.
Here's the thing. Dick from Old Guy Firewood, I didn't see this. I rewatched that live, Dan from Back 40 at the Paul Bunyan show. Dick's son the whole time was like, make him shotgun a beer, make him shotgun a beer. Apparently Dick can shotgun a beer in 0.2 seconds. He says he's retired, but I think the next time we're in the social
you don't retire
setting,
from that, Dick.
I think we're gonna have to see that.
I think we need to see that. Bring your A game because I'm gonna request it in person.
Firewood at the furnace. Brad is in the house. How you doing, Brad? I was gonna wear a firewood in the furnace shirt, and I went for the Easton Made tonight.
Oh, I don't have a firewood in the furnace shirt. Do you?
No,
we don't have shirts from Firewood in the Furnace.
It was funny because after the Paul Bunyan show, Brad posted his video with pictures with him with
everybody
everyone.
but me.
Well, we were just starting out, and Rachel's like, I don't see a picture of us, and he goes, I don't see a picture of me on your channel. I'm like,
Yeah.
fair enough.
We didn't take a single picture. With
No, we just
anything,
went
though.
there to.
I just live my experience. I
It
just
was
live
fun.
it fully.
We met a lot of great people, and that was sort of like the beginning of, I guess, Rachel getting more involved because she's like, I guess, had fun, and you meet a lot of great people in this industry.
Well, I remember when Andrew and the Easton Made crew showed up, and Heath just all of a sudden shouts, "Andrew!" from like across the room. And I'm like, what? Who are you yelling
I
at?
get loud when I'm drunk.
And then Patty proclaimed her love for Joe.
I don't know if that's
It's not
public.
secret. I'm pretty sure Joe knows. If you don't know Joe, now you know. Patty loves you.
Patty does have a thing for Joe. So Joe, you're definitely well liked by Patty.
Very well liked. Yeah. And then somebody gave me a hug, and it was a very nice hug. It was
Hey,
like-
no, it was one of your guys.
One of
Andrew.
your guys, Andrew, and
He
like,
runs the processor side.
Was it Jeremy Bell by chance?
could be. He had dark hair, I think a beard. I don't know, but he was like,
You smell good.
It was like such a nice hug, and he like sniffed, and he was like, "Oh, your wife smells so good."
Why are you guys sniffing my wife?
And I was like, I don't know who this
Oh,
guy is.
I'm so going back to this first
I
thing.
like it.
The first thing Monday morning. I think I'm going in for 6 o'clock just to replay it.
Sitting right, waiting for Jeremy to come in.
Yeah,
Oh,
be like,
yes.
remember that lady you hugged at Paul Bunyan and said she smelled really good? She liked it. So I
The
was
one
like,
you
oh,
sniffed.
he did.
You sniffed her.
He did. Well, he gave a really good hug in case anybody for the future wants a nice hug. It was very nice.
I could see how Jeremy would give a very, very good hug.
It was a good hug.
If you needed a hug, he'd be the man for the job.
Yeah, and he was like, "Your wife smells amazing," and I was like, "Oh,
See,
I don't know who you are, but thank you."
I can't hear and I can't smell. I have some.
He can't smell. I literally will spray perfume.
I buy a
I'm like, what do you
perfume.
think? He's like, I can't
I
smell
have
it.
no idea.
Instantly after I spray it, he can't smell
So
it.
now sometimes if I know she has it on, I'm just like, you smell nice.
Yeah,
I have
he
no
doesn't.
idea.
He can't smell it. He has no idea.
Maybe you need Jeremy
Thank you,
following you
Jeremy.
around so he can let you know. I'm going back. I'm seeing if Jeremy's on. He may be watching.
He's probably embarrassed if he heard.
It's like I didn't know she knew I sniffed her.
He said I smelled. It was such a good hug. I was like, ooh, I could go back for seconds.
I don't think I've ever heard anybody describe a hug like that.
It was.
I'm
nice.
gonna have to up my hug game.
It was.
Yeah.
Very, I mean, there's a lot. I could go into detail about different hugs and how people. It's like a handshake, but like people don't handshake me necessarily. I get hugs, and there's a lot of. There's like a difference, and
You gotta sniff her when you hug her.
You gotta tell me I smell
Well,
good.
what I'll do is I'll go in first thing Monday morning, and I will get the hug for myself, and I will report back,
You need to.
and I'll see how I smell.
What were you wearing?
It's nothing that anyone would recognize.
So, are you gonna get that on video too, Andrew?
Oh, I will do my best.
Documentation.
Oh yeah, set up a camera and see if he gives you the
Mhm.
same quality hug
Right.
Rachel got.
Oh yeah, Dick says ravishing Rachel for sure. I don't know. Did you get a hug, Dick? I don't remember.
Maybe it was he gives good hugs and he says processor.
He does.
He does not say processor. I might get a crush on this guy. I
I'm
don't
gonna
know.
get. I'm
Jeremy
gonna get
definitely
Rachel-
says processor, 100%.
Oh.
I hear the word come out of his mouth several times a day.
Well, I just got a new friend.
Well, Rachel, you wouldn't be the first person to have a crush on Jeremy. He's pretty awesome.
I'm looking forward to the next. Are you guys going to Bunyan this year?
Rachel's not
Oh, yeah,
coming
for
this
sure.
year, unfortunately.
Right. I'm like, y'all better come to that Fairfield Inn. I expect another hug just as good as the first. Or
We're trying to see if we can go to Boonville for at least one night. I'm still trying to figure out work for that, but you'll be there, right, Andrew?
Oh, we'll be in Boonville for sure. It's only a couple hours from us.
Yeah, we're
I
gonna
think
try
it's
to get there.
6.5 from us. We're gonna have to go through Canada to get there, but
Yeah, if you guys cross Niagara Falls, that'd be the quickest way for you to go.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
what it shows. So
You guys can stop by, pick me up on your way.
got it.
Let's do it. I want to check out those shelters you had the other day. I need some storage, but Rachel does the kitchen first.
Jimbo says Mrs. Postma the chaperone. I am no one's chaperone. I probably need a chaperone to
Yeah.
be honest.
But you could do the shelters and get them 90% done, and they'd be good.
Right. That's what I do. I do 90%
90%.
because I'm a perfectionist, I think, but most of what I do, I teach myself, and I expect to do it the first time I've ever done it and do it like I've been doing it my whole life. But I think I figured out that if I don't complete it, I didn't not do it perfect. I'm like, oh, I'm not done with that yet. Like everything, I got new floors in and I don't put the baseboard down, or whatever I do, I stop just pre-completion. I don't know what it is. It's a mental hang up, I think.
Jimbo says, Heath, are you going to buy a splitter to keep at the hunting property since you don't have one there?
I don't know, because that's
No.
so that's ultimately where I'm working on moving everything to, because Rachel's like, you need to get this out of our yard.
No, but it's like easier to work in our house yard.
It is.
Our hunting property is like an hour away.
45 minutes.
If we not 45 minutes.
If you drive fast.
If we have to pick kids,
I watch
up
Andrew
from
drive
school,
before he drives
or-
fast.
We don't leave the house at 6 or 7. Just FYI. I mean, he doesn't get home till 12:30 and whatever. So it's just kind of a pain in the ass to drive up to the hunting land, to be honest.
I've thought of that, and I have like the cellular cameras up there, but without being there all the time, I worry about it going missing.
Right.
That
I mean, we
makes
did the
sense.
video. Yeah, splitter food video.
Yeah, that was up
That
there.
was up
I have
there.
probably 20 cords of wood sitting there that I need to get to, but I'll get there.
We got Heath. Have you noticed a difference in starting the Honda versus the Vanguard in your comparison?
I don't have a Vanguard because that Easton made that I have is a 2019 where it had the Honda. And then the Wolf Ridge had the Honda. My old blue homemade splitter had a Honda, and my Allwood has a Honda. So everything I've run has the Honda. So no.
Yeah. Anyone else have 4 splitters in their garage right now? Just
No
us?
one's outside.
Well,
I don't think I have 4 splitters in my
Right. Listen.
Clearly, I
can't
need
park-
a
no.
pole barn.
I can't park a car.
Or a
I have
shelter.
a bet.
Yeah.
I have a bet going with the kids that a pole barn will be erected before my kitchen's done. And
That will not happen. I know.
I think there might be like 2 splitters in the shop right now at the wood splitter factory.
Right. Well, considering everyone's saying they're waiting, I hope you're not just hoarding splitters.
Oh yeah,
Andrew, if you need one, I have some. Call
some.
me.
Could you imagine if you had like a pole barn just full of everyone's splitters? Just
Wouldn't
sitting
that be
there, like,
something?
we're really not a year out. We just want you to think we are. They're all ready.
Oh, Kevin and Henry keep them cleaned up pretty good. Normally, as soon as they go out there, when it's done, it's normally like a week at the very most before it's on a truck. So it's not outside for very long.
I have a question for you, Andrew. Like, because right now it seems, and it could just be social media or because we're getting more involved in it. Like, have you noticed that the demand is just growing exponentially? Because it seems like everyone wants to do this right now. You know what I'm saying? Like 10 years ago, or how long you had, what, 8-9 years ago you were making them?
Yeah,
Like,
but
have you noticed it
about 8 years ago, and when I did the market research then, I know Timberwolf was building about 2,500 splitters a year out of Vermont. That's the number I got from my man. Whether it's true or not, that is a number that I was given. Built Right was building a pile of splitters then. They were doing a lot of splitters then. So like, I don't know if the market has grown or shrunk so much, but there's a couple of those players that aren't huge players anymore. So like there's so many wood splitters available to sell every year, and I don't think it's really grown a whole lot. There's just different people into it now.
Just
so.
different people taking over, or stepping up, and
Yeah.
all right. Because I know, like, and it depends on where you live, like geographically, and like here in Michigan, every other house is selling firewood because the emerald ash borer, so there's ash everywhere, which is starting to run out because it's been dead for so long now. It's getting harder to find the good ash, but it just seems like everywhere
good
you
ash
go.
at home, honey.
But
Sorry.
and then you hear other places like all your market depends. Where I'll hear people say, I sell a full cord of oak for $200, and then other people are like, I get $700 for a third of a cord by Chicago or, wherever you're at. It's just crazy the difference in the market. But
Yeah, for sure. And I find with a lot of that too, with the difference in the markets is how people market the product too, right? That seems to go a long ways. Obviously with anything you do, because like we sell wood splitters to people, wood splitters and processors to people, processors.
Thank you. What are you doing?
He just said processor.
I had a vision in my mind of always the processor, and you screwed that up.
And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where you go. Like there's strong markets for firewood. If you want to sell a good quality product, you can sell firewood for a good buck just about anywhere.
I agree. I think a lot of people, they want instant gratification. They want to cut it, split it, sell it. Like it's not ready. You need to start ahead of time, and you need to have way more than you think you need, because if you sell a decent product, people want it. I don't know, but yeah, I just was curious because it seems like it's getting more popular, but like you said, it's
kind
just
of like if you buy a red car,
shifting.
you notice everyone who has red cars.
Right, that
it's
could be
probably
it.
because you're into it that you notice.
I think so too.
Yeah. So Charger, nice to see a live chat. I really enjoy your videos out working. Guess that one's for you, Rachel.
Yeah, I guess that's for me. Thank you.
I thought they were talking to you, Kevin.
Right. We know I'm the only one who works. I did watch your videos the other day, Kevin.
Oh, which ones?
Machine. I don't know. One where you took a machine and went over and the saw went.
Oh, yes.
And
the feller buncher. The feller buncher head.
Yes,
that's right.
Yes, that's what it was. I was like, my gosh, that thing is awesome.
You want me to get one of those?
Yeah.
You can buy that up not too far from Elmira.
Somebody here said they think you should get a fifth splitter. And I'm like, no, straight to jail.
So James says he saw Andrew's video on the 37D and called within a week to upgrade his order. If there wasn't a video, he would have gone with the 1222. And that just goes to show you the social media aspect of it, and people want to see stuff, right? Like,
well, that's exactly why we did that video.
Yeah.
And I think even like stuff like this, like it's got a lot more personal approach too, right? Yeah. Because like you're buying it from a normal person rather than some huge conglomerate, right?
Yeah.
Right. See, and that's what I've always like with archery. I love hunting and archery. I always try to find the new up and coming shop that is owned by an individual, that they care about the product. But then it always seems that eventually a big corporation buys them over because they want the name brand recognition. They make them cheaper. They sell them. And then it just, I like the person who has a good owner, a good company, stands behind their product, is a real person. I will go with that one every day of the week versus the big corporate, and it always seems like the log splitter industry might be a little different, but like in hunting, a lot of products, they build a name, build a brand, and then a big company comes and says, here's all this money, we're going to take it and essentially ruin it, but profit off from all your hard work and good product that you had.
Yeah, so don't sell out, Andrew. I think
you can't ever sell this.
I think I've got a long time left. I really enjoy what I do, so it would have to be a pretty substantial amount of money, I would think.
Everything's for sale for the right amount of money.
That's very true.
It would have to be an awful lot of it. So if it ever does sell, somebody paid big money for it.
Kevin, are you going to any of the shows, Boonville or Paul Bunyan?
Bunyan for sure. Bunyan,
right, we'll be there. We already got our rooms booked. So now everyone might switch hotels, but
yeah, it's we haven't booked yet, but we will. We usually wait till I think March when the wife calls, but yeah, I don't know if we're switching hotels or not. I don't know. We need to talk and see what's going on with everybody else. So we'll see what happens there. Boonville, I'd love to do Boonville, but schedule, I don't think I can fit that in, and holidays.
So I think I'm only going to get one night, but we'll see what I can.
Well, it also depends on our kids' sports schedule because high school sports start in August, and I don't know if there's like a tournament on the other side of the state that weekend either.
Right.
So we'll have to see.
Yeah.
And Heath would not go without me.
No way.
I mean, I'd tell him to go, but
Fighting
he
off
wouldn't.
women is
Right.
not easy.
you have to bring your stick with you.
Yeah, everywhere he goes. That's funny.
Back River Firewood. Andrew, when I do order the processor, finally, would you build me a wedge that does bundle wood like a Bill Wright or Multitech has I want on an Easton made machine? I don't think you have.
What are your thoughts on that, Cav? Like with a 12-way wedge, and if you keep the wood at a decent size, I think you're putting nice bundle grade stuff out.
Yeah, I think as long as you're putting the right size wood through that 12-way, like you can get too big of a piece through it, and you'll get big chunks on the outside. But like that inside wood, for us, like in bag stuff, would be okay. But we always try to control, because how we do stuff. We'll sort our logs a little bit so we can put smaller wood through the 8-way for our bundles, and that kind of controls it that way. It's not a bundle, it's going in a bag, so it's a little bit different. But a bundle, what's the size of that square in the center, or that rectangle?
The pieces are 3 by 3 by 5, I think, triangles.
Yeah, so it's as long as you don't exceed, like if you're maxing out the saw, you'll get chunks. You'll get too big chunks on the outside.
Yeah, and I think that's one thing that I think I'm going to do a video on that too, because the other thing with the other box wedge style processor wedges is that they're limited to the size. So if you limit the size of the wood that goes through your 12 or your 16 way on an Eastimate to about 15, 16 inch, you're going to get the same result out of it.
Yeah.
Like you're taking a piece of wood this big and you're dividing it into 12 or 16 pieces, it's going to be the same pieces of wood.
Yeah.
You just have to run. You can't exceed a certain limit, or else you're gonna have to resplit stuff.
Yeah. I've got two videos I did in the spring, I think, running the 12-way. So if he wants to watch those, give you an idea of what's coming off that and the size of the wood. With the outside pieces, you'll see some bigger ones coming off it, but yeah, you just got to control that. I haven't run that 16 because you got a 16-way, don't you?
Yes, we do. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't tried that, or we don't have one, so I haven't tried it. But I think that would cut down on the smaller stuff or the bigger stuff coming out, and would help. But yeah, like you said, the Multitech I think is a 16-inch log it can do.
Yeah,
I think limited it, or 18 maybe.
I think it's 16. So like if you think about it, there's 4, 4, 4, and 4. That's 16. You're gonna have 4-inch pieces out of it, right?
Yeah. Plus on your outside you get your slivers.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Kevin, how much wood do you sell a year?
I think this year we're somewhere around 800 or 900 cord, full cords.
You edged us out by a little bit.
And then we got some custom stuff we do. That's probably another 300 cord, I guess, somewhere in around that area. You try to keep track of it, and then other loads come in on a weekend or something. I don't see them come in, and then I just lose track. So I just stopped.
Right.
So yeah, kind of watch the hour meter and go from that. And the boss has it all on paper. He's got it all figured out. And Shibe.
You, Patty.
Woo!
Cheers, Shibe. Shibe, I have to say, I don't know if you put it on YouTube. I didn't see it, but on Facebook, that video you did of the 1222 showing up was awesome.
Oh,
Yeah, it turned out great.
I haven't seen that one yet. I'll have to check that out.
Is it on YouTube also, or just on Facebook?
I think I seen it on YouTube.
Yeah, I saw it on Facebook. Well, Rachel, that was well done, I thought.
You did a great job on that one.
So back River Firewood, he does 99% bundles.
Wow.
That's where the money's at if you can make them and sell them. I had bundles at my roadside stands, and I have just 2 remote location stands. I'm not at Kevin's
We
level
don't.
yet. I mean, we're right clipping on his heels, but
We just need a processor.
one of them was at a house that nobody's at right now, and the bundles got stolen a lot more. I think because you could pull up and grab it and go. It's just an honor system where my stands are at.
Yeah.
But the one where my buddy lives, where he's there, somebody's there. So that one was, I guess, more honest. But the one that people knew the house was vacant, to take a rack of wood takes a few minutes. To grab a bundle, they grab it and they go. And
People
I have
still
cameras,
steal
but
racks of wood though.
they do occasionally, but not too bad.
Like why? Why do people do that?
Because it's awesome wood and they want to fire.
They need money for beer. For
Right,
White
you gotta
Claw.
have beer if you're burning wood.
They steal the rack, bundle it, and sell
Sell
it
it
for
to buy beer.
They're
All,
entrepreneurs.
all I can think of is Heath being the Rock and walking tall and pulling somebody over and telling them their taillights out or some fucking thing.
Uh,
No.
James, Andrew, ever thought about putting an ad on Facebook Marketplace in Canada for a new processor?
Don't do it. I'll buy one.
Right. You can be like, I found this ad.
Rachel, we're going to Canada. You coming for what? I've found a great deal on this thing. Let's go.
We got Shibe. He was out splitting in the cold today with the 1222. Fast.
Yeah, I love the cold. If you watch the videos,
No, she does.
I never complain about the cold ever.
That didn't sound like never complaining
No,
with the cold.
I mean,
I'm so cold.
every video, I'm like, I'm freezing.
Once summer gets, I hate the
Well,
summer because I sweat
no.
and she'll be in her element. And so she'll
Well,
be happier in the
because
summer.
here's
I'm
the thing.
happier in the
People
winter.
complain that I wear leggings. I don't know why anybody cares what I'm wearing, but I do wear I wear leggings every day in my life. It's just more comfortable if I'm bending, picking over, doing all that. I don't have to mess with my clothes. And if I'm like working with machinery, I don't want to be worried about my clothing being uncomfortable. I want to focus on what I'm doing. But the leggings are not very
Warm.
thick. They're not insulated. Like I'm complaining how cold I am, and he's like, "Oh, I'm not cold at all." I said, "Yeah, put on a pair of my leggings and let me see how well you fare out there."
Do you guys want to see that?
So as soon as Jeffrey puts his leggings on, he's gonna put his on. No,
I bought her some Carhartt ones that are
I
a
did
little warmer.
wear
I
some
think.
Carhartt leggings, but they're kind of stretchy and they are a little thicker, but they still weren't.
That might be the solution for me. Is I get told to pull my pants up a lot. Maybe I should just
Put
get
some
leggings.
leggings on.
I think maybe we should
mean,
have a leggings day at Paul Bunyan.
Honestly, I don't know why anybody cares that I'm wearing leggings, but like I don't have to mess with my pants. With jeans, I've worn jeans out there. Anytime I like bend over to pick anything up, now I have to pull my pants back up because they don't stay in place, and it's annoying to me. So,
Oh, I hear you. 100%.
right.
I think maybe make a Easton-made legging for cutting firewood.
Yeah. With like,
Jeffrey will wear them if you make them orange and blue.
if you make them orange and blue, Jeffrey's gonna wear them, right? Patty, Patty can weigh in on this.
Jeff would rock them. He would look sexy in them leggings.
Wonder if that'd be his official outfit for the Pickaroon toss.
Yeah, put the Pickaroon toss, or you need to put some shields on the front of the shins for the Pickaroon miss swing.
Yes, I did throw a pickaroon the other day. No wait, what is that? Hookaroon. It wasn't a pickaroon.
Similar.
There's differences in case you didn't know. I threw a hookaroon because
It is one of those things that if you're frustrated, it throws very, very well.
I
It is a
agree.
good throw.
I agree. But
Luckily, I ducked it.
I didn't throw it across the yard because I knew I still needed it. So it made it like 15 feet. And then I had to go pick it up because I was like, well, I'm not going to ruin my day that much. But I'm pretty sure I was mad at him because then,
No.
like, I know he didn't put it in the video, but it was when we were doing what were you doing? Oh, you're chainsawing the logs off the grapple. And I don't know why I was mad at him. He's kind of an asshole when we film, to be honest.
No, I'm not.
And so I like was flipping the logs like a tire to put them back, and I was like cussing him out, and I'm like, "This is on
She
the
was
mic."
not. She's very nice.
He didn't put it on there, and then something happened, and I threw the hooker in.
Well, you're gonna have to put that round back. We got to do retake.
Yeah, no. So
Here, bring that back for
but
the
I
third
knew
time.
enough. I didn't throw it across the yard. I just was like, oh, a little bit, and he got it out, and I was like, well, good. I don't have to go retrieve it or find it. Wait till the snow melts to find it.
At least Jeffrey threw the Fiskars though, because those are lifetime warranty. So if it broke when he threw it, he could get a new one.
Ours was ran over.
Yeah.
Chuck says their kitchen door has been here for 3 months and the cabinet doors are non-existent. I need to spend some time on that.
Hey, Chuck, I can relate. We've had like 3 or 4 cabinet doors just fall off, and now it's an open concept cabinet.
Open concept is where it's at. You said.
No.
Well, it's just like putting glass for a cupboard door. You may as well just have that. It's quicker.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
You know what?
People
It's
don't
invisible
even know
glass.
them over.
I think I figured out the problem. Chuck has the same problem. I have the problem. Andrew makes this product that's way more fun to do than remodeling. So we don't put these. So Andrew should send out crews to do remodeling.
Listen, I'm not asking you to do it. I would love someone else to come remodel my kitchen.
Jeremy?
Jeremy! Oh.
That's the guy to do it. I will wholeheartedly say. You want to handy?
Send Jeremy over.
There is very little that he cannot do and do well. You
I
think
will
he's just
smell
going to give
good.
him hugs? He's good at a lot of things.
I'll make sure I smell good for him if he'll come to my kitchen.
I will be
He
home
will
monitoring
100%.
the kitchen.
I think he's probably on his way now.
I'm okay with that. Let's go.
Woodruff Woods. Cheers.
Cheers, Darren.
Thank you. How about a legging?
Kevin, what are you drinking there? You got your hand wrapped around it. Is that like a
Coors Light.
Coors Light? So I went
Coors
with the
Light.
Canadian beer, and you guys are drinking the Rockies and the Runners. beer.
It is.
Yeah.
Are you still on here, Jake? The Dude Ranch DIY. He likes the Coors, but he likes the what one?
The originals, the Yellow Jacket.
The Yellow Jacket.
Oh,
The
banquet.
Yeah.
Mm. I don't know how I
Yeah.
know that.
I don't even know that many Canadians that drink Labatt.
I got it just because I was on this tonight.
That's so funny.
Like,
Here you got it.
Like we have taste buds, you know.
Oh, James, I'm not really trying to hook Jeremy. Clearly, I've got this stud muffin next to me.
The only people I knew that drank Labatt, it was Labatt 50, and they only drank it so no one else would steal it.
Yes, and it was
That's like how
normally
he
warm.
buys ice cream.
It was
Yeah,
normally
you gotta eat
warmed
it
by
now.
the wood stove.
Yeah.
Oh,
Exactly.
Like
Wow.
the old guys would bring the case of Labatt 50, like the worst,
so like
most
no
terrible
one-
beer in the world, set it next to the wood stove so it got warm, and then that's how they would drink it.
that's disgusting.
That it would not be good.
With
That's why no one else is drinking.
and right sitting on top is the green Export A's.
Yes, there is. Yeah, king size.
Yeah, that's right. Disgusting.
See, he buys like disgusting ice cream, so no one else will eat it in the house.
It's the only way I get some. The
Yeah.
kids
My
think
wife
it's a
does-
race to eat it.
My wife does the same thing. She buys chocolate mint.
I heard a trick though.
I would eat that, but that's not bad at all.
This girl I work with, she literally doesn't have any kids, only a husband, and she's like, "Oh, I buy ice cream and you put it in a vegetable bag in the freezer." I'm like, that's genius because he doesn't eat vegetables, so she'll take an old broccoli bag and put the ice cream in there and put it in the freezer. She's like, then I can eat the whole thing myself.
No, Heath gets
It's out now.
right. Yeah, secrets out.
I know. I should have charged for that too.
Oh, look at Dick said he was gonna get some Dos Equis. Heath was gonna buy Dos Equis tonight, but he didn't.
I know. I went with Labatt. The
The Canadian. It's got
Well, I
the-
think that Dos Equis would probably suit better being the most interesting man in the world.
that is true.
right. Hi,
Good.
Ted. Welcome, Saw Surgeon.
How are the electric splitter sales coming, Andrew?
Oh, we've sold a handful. Not too many though. We will, however, have an electric axis.
Oh, yeah.
In the next week or two, probably.
Nice. Have you done a
No.
processor yet?
No, we were gonna do one like the first like 2 weeks ago. Like we were gonna start the very first electric processor, but like we've done them under the Valves brand before, obviously. But The guy ended up wanting to push it till the spring, so it'll be a little bit longer before we actually get working on it. So
Yeah. Nice. Now I've lost my spot here.
Hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, Heath is
Richard.
dying to run an Axis, so I don't know how that can happen, but
how big's your door to your garage? It might fit.
we have 4 in there right now. Would it fit? make room.
Well, then he needs that shelter.
Right.
And then he can get his
That's exactly what he needs.
If he gets a pole barn before my kitchen, I don't know what's going to happen, but I wouldn't be surprised if what's going to happen.
It's people, they can't keep up with orders right now with ash. It's like a drug to fill.
I have been selling my own home heating wood because I'm out of wood to sell, and somebody calls and they're like, "Hey, do you have wood?" I'm like, "Yes, I do."
Where do you get it all from your hunting?
I get it. So I get some from there. We live on a couple acres here that I get a little bit from, and then my buddy who runs he runs a mini excavator and he does like stuff. So when he puts in driveways or clears lots for houses, and then I've got another, so I get it from different places, a lot from my land, and then just through connections, like people clearing driveways or this, and I'll go grab it.
Steve was clearing, somebody was selling land.
Like clearing to build houses, and they're just going to mulch them all or, whatever, and I go get them. I've never gotten tree service wood because I have access to nicer stuff than the huge knotty rounds and all that.
After we split all that down in Missouri, I'm glad you don't get tree service wood.
I've tried to get a log truck or two, and I don't know where to get them, but I've looked and they're sort of hard to get, I think, right now in Michigan. Like they used to be easy with all the ash because there was ash everywhere, but it's getting tougher to get. And I think with the increase in propane and fuel oil and all of that, there's a lot more demand. So it's getting tougher and tougher to get.
Yeah. Yeah. There's got to be a lot of locking going around you though, right? Like you guys are like old woods in Michigan.
I think further north, if we went north, there's a lot. Like you can get it up there, but then the trucking fees to get it here makes it not worth getting, Yeah. So where we're at on the east side, we're about an hour north of Detroit, and there's some around here, but not. If you go probably a few hours further north, then you could have all you wanted.
There's plenty on our hunting property. You just haven't there's so many down trees right now.
I just don't have time to get it all.
Yeah, that's you're too busy splitting.
Yeah.
He's too busy editing. That's
the editing is the worst.
The editing is the worst.
I could have all of my wood done right now probably if I wasn't making videos.
And this is how Heath works. He's like, Rach, I think you need to start doing the editing.
Don't you guys think that would be great?
No.
How do you do it now though?
I've been doing everything on my phone, and now we're just starting to. I think on a computer it'll be easier because technology isn't my thing.
No,
I'll go out in the woods for hours, but I don't like technology. But obviously you have to learn it to do YouTube and do this stuff. So I'm trying.
I use Premiere Pro is a program I use on my laptop, and it's like $20 a month or whatever through Adobe, but I can edit a video hour, maybe 45 minutes now.
Yeah, I've been using Filmora Go on my iPhone, and it's tough on the phone because it's little teeny clips, so you got
that's a very tricky.
Doing it on a computer.
You don't have to edit Rachel out of yours, Andrew. You don't know what
I gotta it's a family show, so I'm like, can't put that in, Rachel, you can't say that, you can't do that.
That's the problem. It's me.
So I'll take a 3-hour video and I'm like, I got 12 minutes of usable footage, girl.
I was definitely like, what was I? I don't know. I do inappropriate things. Sorry. It's all I can do to keep it interesting while I'm out there. I'm cold. I gotta move. I don't know.
Just throwing hookaroons.
Right. Ted says you gotta go back home that's where the ash is. You got a lot of ash over on the west side?
There's too much snow.
Bring it over,
there.
Ted. You're welcome. Anytime you want to bring the ash over to us, we will let you come on over. You can run any of our 18 splitters you want. Just pick one.
It's only 4.
No. It's a good thing there's not a lot of snow.
We have apparently there's stores called Just Cozy that sells thermal leggings.
I don't think they'd be warm enough. It's cold
Yeah.
as shit out here, Kevin, and I'm dying. Don't need me.
You're not supposed to swear.
Sorry, can I swear, Kevin? I apologize if I cannot. Heath is
It's all
literally like pinching me and kicking me around here.
Andrew was cracking this up on Brad. That was
literally, Andrew, when you like leaned in like this and you go, the fuck? When you were reading something, I died.
no. It was when Brad had the
It was great.
little plastic thing.
No, it's because somebody said something stupid on there. Well, I don't know who said it. Sorry. Sorry if you're on here right now, but it was.
I did not say that.
Yes,
Yes,
you
you
did.
It was when
No way.
It
Yes,
was when
you did.
you were drinking a lot because it was like a 7-hour live stream.
No, you did. Because
And it
I
was-
noticed and I appreciate
It
it.
was when Brad had the little teeny plastic thing that he said Ram Splitter sent him for the slide plate.
No, that's what it was.
Yes, it was. And he
Brad,
said,
Yes.
you can confirm.
Yes, I do remember that.
see? Because you were like,
Brad, you know.
what is that
No,
gonna
you
do?
literally, it was a word. It's you spell it DAFUQ.
that's what you said. Andrew.
The fuck. That's what you
Yeah, I
said.
very well could have said that.
It was the best because you like
it's a
leaned
good
in to read
possibility.
it. You leaned in like the fuck, and I was
All right,
like,
no.
sorry.
I have been known to use profanity from time to time. Like these things are always difficult for me.
That's why.
And
he has
there's a lot of
to
stuff
edit
that
me
gets edited out in videos, especially if like I get on a rant.
now. Yes.
She does
Oh
that.
yes, we got to
Thank
restart.
you. Do you know how many times, literally, like this last week, just having various conversations with people, different, it was men, sorry, but they're like, well, geez, tell us how you really feel. I'm like,
I just did.
I just did.
That's
You
like
never have to question.
Jimbo said he heard it also.
Thank you, Jimbo.
Bill Obermeyer
Yeah.
said he heard it too.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I do remember that.
I laughed out loud when you did it because it was
Yeah.
perfect. But
It
it
was-
was we can go back and watch it, but I'm pretty sure it was about it was a little tiny plastic.
Little wee wear plate.
Yes.
Thing. I don't know what
Yes.
it is.
Oh, it was
You-
something. You
it
like
was
leaned
awesome.
in. Oh, see, Dick says you dropped at least 3 F-bombs.
Ted
It was
says,
the
I'm gonna have to run
the-
this stream on delay like radio.
Yeah.
If Rachel's on it, you need a delay at least 15 seconds.
No.
That's too funny. Now we lost my question up here. All right, Jimbo. I believe a legging calendar with Heath, Kevin, and Andrew could sell for charity, don't you?
He does really nice things. When he was in college, fun fact, he worked at a bowling
Come
alley.
on.
It was a bowling alley, golf course, country club, like fine dining establishment. So in the winter months, it was the bowling alley that you worked at and bartended and served. But they had
It was Halloween.
Pimps and Hoes night.
Oh yeah.
And Heath dressed up like he wore my clothing and he dressed up like a girl. And he had so many guys come up to him.
I'd be
when he
getting
was
a beer out of the cooler, and they're like, "God dang!" I'm like,
yes, no. He had like really nice legs, like a girl, and a nice little booty. And they were like, and then he turned around and be like, oh. So I think you're onto something, Jimbo. He's got the good lower body.
I don't know
Andrew
if I
was
could
talking
pull it
about
off
replacing the
myself.
jeans.
I've got like chicken legs and like knobbly knees.
Knobbly.
Nah, believe me.
Probably needs.
And I have a rear end that is completely and totally non-existent.
Oh, it's like a pancake.
Mine's
No,
going away. I need to do some like booty thrusts or something.
I got enough for all y'all. Don't worry.
Kevin, how's your booty?
Yeah.
It's there. It holds my pants up.
That's, you know what? That's how you know it's going away when your pants are falling down.
That's right.
Mhm.
That's I have a buddy who wears suspenders all the time. He's like, I gotta wear them. I have no ass. They just fall down.
Oh, I definitely went through a suspender stage. Like if I'm wearing soft pants, I have to wear suspenders.
Yeah.
Right.
They will not stay on me with a belt.
he's like, I need to start doing like squats and stuff with you. What do you do? And I'm like, well, come on over. And his hamstrings cramped.
I cramp up and I'm down.
Every single time he tried to work out lower body with me, he's like, and he's down. He can't. His hamstrings, they get him.
I pulled a hammy.
Yes, I literally make that joke every time I'm with like middle-aged men. I'm like, wait, don't pull a hammy because it's serious business.
James says a lot of Canadians buy Heath. Can you even get that in your neck of the woods?
You know what? I feel like I've seen it. Does it have a deer on it?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I could have seen it in Canada when I'm over there buying stuff.
Somebody's house that he's at, picking up something from Facebook Marketplace, probably.
Seeing the empties in the garage.
Right.
Hold up. So, like in Canada, you guys can only buy like beer and liquor at designated stores, right? Because we can like buy it. I'll buy gas and I go in and I'm like, oh, beer, and I grab some.
Designated stores.
Yeah, they got the beer store, or
like not at your gas stations.
No.
Like, it has to, and if it is at a gas station, it's like a designated.
So like
gas station has an LCBO with it.
It basically, that gas station is in the middle of nowhere and they're using it as a LCBO.
There's like a satellite outlet. It's normally got to be like a somewhere where there's not a whole lot, like where there's not a lot of population to do it.
Well, see, growing up on the west side of the state, though, like for a long time, they would not sell alcohol on a Sunday, period. Like you couldn't. And now it's even noon.
Yeah, it's like you can't buy it till afternoon, like
till after 12 p.m.
What's it matter when I buy it? I tried to buy some the other day over here, and they're like, "Oh, we can't sell that." And I'm like, "Are you kidding me?" Yeah, down at Meijer at the gas station.
Oh, Meijer.
I don't think you can buy. I don't think the beer store is open till noon on Sundays, or the LCBO. Is it noon?
Well, I mean, literally, if you can't sell it, you shouldn't. I mean, but these are like gas stations or like a grocery store where they.
Yeah, and then we ran into that before too. Like Stacy did, like when she was pregnant with Ash, and she went in. She went into booze with a case of beer.
You might want to like edit what you're about to say right now.
Well, that's the funniest part of it. She's clearly pregnant, and like she's just grabbing beer to bring over to the show, right? And she walks up with cash like 8 o'clock in the morning with a couple cases of beer, and they're like, "I'm sorry, miss, we can't sell that to you until like 9 or something or 8:30." It was like half an hour until she could actually buy it. Here, Stacy is pregnant.
That's so funny.
Like, I need a beer now.
She's like, "Listen, I'm pregnant. I need this beer. I am here. You're gonna sell to me.
This is what baby needs. All right."
That's funny. Yeah, so it's what the beer store, the Lickbo, and like select grocery stores you can get it at. Really, is it? Yeah, so when we go down to the States, it's like you walk into the gas station, it's like, you can get it anywhere.
And it's like
right in the bag, so you don't know you're drinking while you're driving.
Oh, it's like a quarter of the price too.
Oh, the way cheaper.
You just got to go through duty free, isn't that the?
Well, yeah, that's where I stopped, duty free, and then whatever. Because our Coors Light is different than yours. Tastes different than yours.
I think the beer in Canada is different, and I would bring you guys some when I come over. Except I don't think I can. I think they get you.
You can't bring alcohol across the border.
Well, you can, but I think they charge you a lot.
He says "can."
Can.
It's really can.
It's the difference between processor and processor.
No, processor is sexy. Can is not. Tell us how you really feel, Rachel. I just did.
So Chuck says the answer to Big Naughty Logs is a Woodmiser LT35. Slice it up and bucket into length. That's a good idea.
Chuck, you and Deb need to make a road trip to Michigan because I have a pile of red oak, which I cut down on accident, and some black walnut. I need to redeck my trailer, and my buddy's supposed to bring me his mill, but he never has. So if you guys want to come help me redeck my trailer, I've got a pile of white oak waiting.
And I just learned how to buck logs, so I'm your gal.
Did you guys see her on the chainsaw the other day for the first time ever? It was a
I
Canadian.
missed the first time on the chains. I was gonna watch it there today.
It was a
I was
Canadian
on the
saw.
exercise bike. I was gonna check it out, and then I didn't.
It was one of his Facebook Marketplace in Canada purchases.
An
That was a good
044
score.
with a Canadian winter air filter on it. The
He was
States
more
edition came with a different filter.
Heath was more excited about the hat that he got to pick
I
up.
bought that saw, and when I got there and I bought it, and I told the guy, like, yeah, I'm going to put this on my YouTube channel. He messages me because it was on Marketplace. He messages me a few days later. He's like, are you interested in this hat that I got when I bought that saw? It's like 30 years old. He's like, it's brand new, but I thought you might like it. I'm like, yes, I want that hat. I'll come. He was going to mail it to me, but I feel bad. I don't want people doing stuff for me too much. So I'm like, I'll come get it. Plus,
I did, as a matter of fact, watch the start of the video where you're going through like where the hat showed up and the 044. We were sitting here just before the live stream and it came on, and I said we used to run all kinds of those saws. Like those were the saws we always had, always in the bush.
I didn't realize how big of a collectible that saw has become. The 10 millimeter 044s, but that saw is in really good shape, and it was a bit of a saw for her to run for.
Well,
her first
I don't know
time
why
ever,
everybody said that. Like, it didn't feel too heavy for me. Like, I guess I don't know. I haven't ran the one that he says is smaller, the Echo, whatever you have.
I got some 50cc saws, but
I was like, I didn't have a problem with it. I don't know why everybody else had a problem with it, but that tends to be what happens on our channel. If I'm wearing shorts, everyone has a problem with me wearing shorts. But Heath can have shorts in the same video, and nobody cares that he's wearing shorts. Just me. If I put my hand just so on the log before I split it, they're like, you need to watch out, honey. You're going to hurt yourself. Heath will do that the entirety of his video, and nobody says a word.
they don't care if I have hands.
I'm like, well, thank you all for caring about me so much. But
I bet.
Dick,
As you grow, it's probably. Go ahead, Heath.
Dick says I need to sharpen that saw that Rachel ran. That was a carbide chain, which does not cut like a regular chain, but that thing will cut through anything, and you don't have to resharpen it. And that's one of the reasons I let her run the 044 for the first time ever, because that thing doesn't bite in like a regular, like full chisel chain, or and it was a maple log that was lifted up, so there was no danger of hitting the tip or on the back log or any. It was a fairly easy cut. And with that carbide chain, it's a lot safer. But yeah, I wouldn't normally just hand her a 72cc saw and say, here, try this out and see what you think.
I don't know. Jimbo's like safety and knowledge is our concern. Listen, Jimbo, I am the safety monitor. I value my life. I value my face. I value my appendages. I'm not doing anything. See, I didn't swear. I'm not doing anything that is going to risk any of those. And in fact, I don't trust this guy. He puts everything in danger, my life included. And I'm like, nope, not doing it. So I wouldn't have done it. I wouldn't have ran it.
What about the loader bucket?
Unless I feel
the loader bucket. That's only what, 8 feet in the air. I'll catch her.
8 feet.
I will catch you really if you fall.
Because here's the thing. This was the funny part.
20 at least.
I gave him this signal.
I thought that meant higher.
When I was high enough, and he kept going. I was like,
that means up.
Stop. And then I like videoed them doing the dry run, whatever. It was great. And then they just start talking. I'm like, hello.
I forgot she was up there.
Up here. I'm not comfortable up here. I'm only doing this for you. Lower me immediately. Thank you.
Sounds
I'm a good sport. If that's what you're gonna say. Yes, I am. I'm a good sport.
Sounds like Shibe can't keep up with this road. I forget where the comment was now.
I need to contact my old log guy, see if he has any more ash left.
Yeah.
Ash is good wood. It burns fabulous.
It looks like his machine's too good. Andrew he can't keep up with supplying rounds to it.
Woo!
At Paul Bunyan, Rachel had quite a bit to drink that night. I did too, but I was good in the morning. And so
That
I
makes-
got up and she's like, go get me breakfast. And I was thinking to myself, I'm like, probably you and Shiva are the only two people left in this hotel. And I go down to get her breakfast and here comes Shiva waking up because
Listen,
Dan tried to wake him up and he's like, whatever, just sleep.
No.
Because we were out drinking with Shiva at the bonfire
we
for
were
quite a
out
while.
late, but listen, I didn't know a single soul. All I knew is I was forced to be in a room full of a bunch of people I didn't know that was all about firewood, which I didn't know. So my answer was drink. And drink I did. I replenished my drinks very well.
Well, that was because I don't think I knew you guys I think I heard your channel, but I don't know. I wasn't following you. I didn't really know you at that
we
point.
had just started sort of, and our early videos, like everyone, are brutal. Don't watch them.
I'm not in any of those, so I take no credit for that.
They're bad.
But all I heard was Heath got Shive more beer, like in the middle of the night or something. Like, oh, I didn't know who Heath was at the time.
I was just hollering, like, get drinks.
Oh, he was. Heath is insane. Yeah, I do. I know like so much about firewood. I can like talk to you about everything. I'm a quick learner. I'm a quick study. No, it's I don't know. So if you met me for the first time at Pub Onion and when Easton, maybe that's why. Maybe Jeremy's on really wasn't that great, but I was at the point in the night where I thought it was fabulous.
Boy, you really brought Jeremy right down to zero again.
I know. Sorry, Jeremy.
Somebody accused me of saying he's very taken. I'm like, that's cool. I literally just liked the hug. It was nice at the time.
That's too funny.
No, but I did have a hard time getting up in the morning. Not
Monday's
gonna
going to
lie.
be such a great day at the shop.
Yeah, you need to.
Listen, I
Andrew,
just
you
want to
need to
know
put-
if he gives good hugs like I think he does.
I want to
Like,
see. You need to put cameras out like before he gets there. You need to beat him there.
I
and just
expect a text to
be like,
Heath,
give me one of
confirm
these
or deny.
legendary hugs.
I actually have
Smells
the
good, though.
the time marked down for you, Andrew, so you can play it at that spot.
Oh, that's perfect. I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to be able to beat Jarrett into work because he's probably going to be there 20 after 5 or so, 5:30 on Monday. So I'm probably not going to beat him.
Yeah, I wouldn't probably beat him either.
I wouldn't beat that at 5:30. The only time I get up at 5:30 is to like get out in the woods and go hunting, and then I'm like, why am I doing this? This is the stupidest thing. Who invented hunting? Why am I out in the woods at this time of day? Like I could be in my bed. So I just sleep in the stand.
What? No deer are up at this time.
They're not. I can't shoot you. Why do I gotta be awake?
You got to beat him into their bedroom.
I sleep until it gets light enough, and I'm like, all right, now I gotta pay attention.
I do that, and I just fall asleep.
Everybody sleeps out in the stand. Don't even let anybody fool you.
I never do.
That's
What
like
do you
part of
mean,
the. I'm like,
sleeping?
listen, there was one night when I went hunting. This was a few years ago, and I got a nice buck and a doe in the same night. But the only reason I went hunting because I didn't want to take anybody to gymnastics and sit in that gymnastics.
And I was like,
So-
do you want to take the kids to gymnastics or do you want to go
No,
hunting?
I
And
was
she's like, I'll go
I'm
hunting.
going hunting just so I could sit out and not be in gymnastics. And then I shot 2 deer, so we had to come out there. But that was my motivation.
Jimbo thinks we're
I
throwing
think
Jeremy under
the
the
worst
bus.
part about falling asleep in the stand is if you're having a really, really good sleep and all of a sudden you wake up abruptly and have no fucking idea where you are or what
Wait.
you're doing up in a
Drop
tree.
the F-bomb?
Yes, he did.
It was the word that starts with D. D-A-F-U-Q.
Yeah, duh.
Thank you.
See, what I hate about sleeping when I'm hunting is I have sleep apnea real bad.
He
so I
snores.
snore like
He snores
crazy.
really loud.
But I'm a fanatic about hunting, like scent control, like with the wind in my face,
Yeah.
all this stuff. And then I go out there, I'm like, I sneak in, I like make sure everything's perfect, and then I'm just out there just snoring, telling the deer like, "Hey, I'm here."
No.
That's the worst. These are the worst.
Uh,
Very funny.
Here's Chuck reminiscing about your
Bring me
weekend.
beer. Literally, he thought he was being funny. Okay, FYI for anybody who sees us together in public in the future, Heath takes on this other persona where he likes to just be a literal pain in my ass to other people and say things to get reactions.
I would never do that.
He does it the most with his mother, just so you know. But he does it for anybody. So that was like his thing. And he's
No, I
like,
was thirsty.
he probably did want a beer, but he did the way he shouted, "Give me a beer!" And it couldn't have played off better. I just looked at him. Like, you see me give him that look in the videos all the time. I'm like, But I didn't have to say a word because the entire like lobby went boo. Like they were
They were booing you because you didn't just bring me a beer.
They were not having it. He thought he was being like cute.
It was.
Or
I think
something.
it was John from frickin' Jeep, and I mean, we needed drinks, and you denied us.
I probably would have got John a drink because I don't think he would have shouted across the room at me, "Give me a beer, woman!" Like Heath would never dare to do that.
No, in public though, I'm safe.
In public, yeah. He's like, she can't beat me in public. No, not right. Oh, look at that, old guy Firewood. Your comment on Chris's interview sounded like you were a wood expert.
Did you guys see that? The Paul. So Chris from In the Woodyard did a Paul Bunyan video where everyone had to say it's the best job I ever had, and Rachel made him blush with her answer.
I'd never met the guy. I thought it was funny.
I haven't seen that. I don't know how come I missed these videos coming out from the show.
I will say that since I've had a YouTube channel, I get to watch way less YouTube.
Yeah.
Because you're constantly, I try to watch channels, especially because we all support each other.
Yeah.
But you don't get to watch nearly as much when you're editing and posting. And, you know, it's hard now. Like before I did this, I could watch everything. And now I'm like, I have to try to focus to watch stuff because you're always doing your own thing, trying to keep stuff going because the fans want Rachel and I got to keep her out there.
That's why he has to keep buying new stuff.
Yeah, you got to keep it interesting.
It's all about me. I get it now.
Any reason I have to spend money on cool stuff, that's all I need is a reason, and I'll do it.
It's cool stuff that Rachel gets to use. Like, it's a win-win.
Or throw.
No, Heath has ADD, and he literally, I think, gets like a dopamine fix for his ADD when he buys something. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what it is. He's like, no. If it's like multiple thousands of dollars, it's an even bigger fix, but it doesn't last but a week. And then it's like on to the next fix. So when I said in one of our videos, Heath has many addictions. He's like, you make me sound like a crackhead. And I was like, well, you don't have any addictions to drugs or alcohol, but you do love spending money.
I like the stuff you get from spending money.
I don't know what that
Stuff is fun to collect.
Yes. It's investments.
Which our kitchen would be an investment. I am a real estate agent. I know how these things work. It is an investment. But
it's not as much fun though.
No.
And that's why it's not done, because it's not fun. It doesn't give him the dopamine fix. That's why he only does things like 95 is generous. We'll say 90% of the way done, because that initial like dopamine fix of like, yes, we get to buy all this stuff to do this project. It's like over partway through. And then he's like, well, this sucks.
No, breaking everything out is cool.
Yeah.
But like when I redid our bathroom and I bought a Milwaukee cordless nailer, that was cool until I didn't know that nails could ricochet out of wood. And it was like 13 inches away, toenailing a 2x4 in, and it hit a knot and ricocheted out and stuck into my thumb bone. Now it's not fun anymore.
That was a delay in the project.
I don't like that tool.
Yeah.
That should have been on video.
Kitchens are not overrated, Jimbo. Kitchen is the heart of the home. Listen, not only do I go out there and do all this wood splitting crap, but I like
She loves it.
I cook homemade. Quit. He's like hitting me with his knee.
You make it sound like I'm like, woman, get out there and split some water. You're gonna
We're
pay.
splitting crap. No, I like make homemade meals, homemade dinners, homemade bread, desserts. Like literally, I got you. And I hate my kitchen every day that I have to work in it. It would be made with way more love if it was a pretty kitchen to work in.
A wise
You
man.
know, I initially thought that too, but now we have this really, really big island. Like we have, the kitchen's dirty. I won't show you the kitchen right now, but it might really help prove my point. We have this beautiful island that is 4 by 10, I think.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's sweet.
At least.
That's awesome.
That's not 12.
It's 4 by 10. The kitchen's probably 24 by like 16 maybe, and a big kitchen, beautiful kitchen. That great big island is covered in shit.
That's like our kitchen table.
I literally have this bubble right here. That's it.
Yeah.
Right. Why do you think this is behind us? Because it's the only thing not dirty in the house.
I feel like sometimes I'm the only one who cleans.
Yeah, he's a liar.
But like in our defense, like in mine and Stacy's defense, like that end of the island is like the boys' end of the island. That's where they'll sit in their YouTube and hang out on that end of the island. So.
Oh yeah. Heath always puts mail on the island, and I'm like, get this off. This is where food goes. It's gonna get dirty, and he will never listen to me. Or he'll put packages on there. I'm like, get this off. This is where our food goes on this island. Yeah.
The kitchen's coming. Before the end of this year, the kitchen will be started.
I don't have any hope.
Started.
Notice he says this in January too, right? He has a whole year.
Yeah, exactly. So by the end of the year.
I'm not quite sure what happens throughout the year here, folks, but I'm going to say, Heath, if you're going to get this done, now is probably the best time to do it. Because by the sounds of it, you're quite a bit like me. Like from October till December, the end of December, I'm really not present. I'm normally in the woods. So
September through January. Don't like schedule us to go anywhere. It's hunting. It's hunting season.
I gotta provide meat for you to
September through January. So literally he only has like this very short window. And then there's like baseball season. And then there's always seasons, right? That take away all our time.
For like years and years, Stacy would always book our Christmas family photos the first week of deer season. We have 2 weeks for rifle here, and we take the first week, and it was always the first week, like right in the middle. It's like I'm deer hunting. Oh,
right.
No, I want pictures.
No, like literally, if his brother was going to get married in November, and they're like, we won't go. Everyone said we're not going to go. Don't even do that. So I think they got married December 1st, right? The day after firearm season ended. She's like, this is what I'm booking at.
Deer season only comes once a year.
Yeah,
it does. It's only once a year, and you have to make the best of it.
I mean, if it was like the 14 days, like November 15 to 30, like it, for firearm, but it's not. There's like early doe and youth season, and then firearm, and then doe, and then muzzleloader, and then like whatever the hell you want to use to shoot a deer season until January 1st. So it's
muzzleloader's fun, eh?
Yeah, they ruined it in Michigan because now during muzzleloader season you can use any gun. I'm like, well, that's sort of not muzzleloader season anymore.
Well, that's not near as much fun then.
No, that
sucks.
They keep changing the rules, thinking they're going to make more people hunt, and I feel like less people hunt because they take the challenge and make it less. And I think the challenge is what draws people, at least.
Oh,
me.
for sure. That's exactly it.
Yeah, we don't have our boys. Like we haven't had our kids ever do youth season, right?
No, because like it's their choice. Like, do you want to hunt the youth season? Because you can use a gun before archery season, and they're like, no, I want to do it like everyone else. And it's their I let them make the decision, and that's what they choose, which I think is cool. But
It has we have a bow season from or archeries from the 1st of October until the end of December. Then there's 2 weeks in there for rifle, and then there's a week in there for black powder the 1st of December. So,
see, ours is fairly similar. Our archery starts October 1st, and then firearm season starts November 15th through the 30th. And then usually it's muzzleloader season, which is now firearm season also, which is in December. But yeah, they just keep expanding what you can use and how long you can hunt, and it sort of takes a challenge out. But
are they extending it to try to control the population there?
I think that, and they think it's going to attract more people, but because they're losing hunters every year, and the license sales, the revenue, everything's driven by money,
Yeah.
So I mean, that's all just my opinion, but it's just the culture is changing, because when I was a kid, hunting was what you looked forward to, and now it's video games and watching Hardworking Man on YouTube and Skitter Kev, and
Chuck says he only has wood season. That sounds. Are we talking about the same thing, Chuck?
only one season here. It's one season.
You let her out all the time.
How do I get a permit for that? Do I need a permit? Do I just automatically have the draw? I don't know. How does this work?
And it's funny that Chuck says it's one season. Because my dad was a logging contractor. My dad had a fairly substantial logging company growing up, and that was always his big thing. Is like, Brent, why don't you sell cut and split firewood? He says that's hunting season. Why would I do that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Oh, Ted's also a procrastinator like you.
Procrastination is probably the thing I'm the best at.
I don't think there's anything wrong with procrastinating.
Now you're gonna say
I think he did that on purpose.
I dig it.
this is Deb years old
permit. All right, Deb, don't be stingy. No. I think Deb and I that were wearing the whose hats are those? The like beaver
dresses in the woodyard.
Yeah, his brother.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the beavers were out of control.
Out of control. I was like, okay.
Kevin has one. I was like,
you just had it sitting there. We didn't even plan that. That is the best.
He's in Canada there, right?
Someone found it. Thanks, Kevin. You found my comment. Listen, I knew what I was doing.
There you go. Yep.
Years come down somewhere.
I'm pretty positive Chris did not expect me to comment what I commented. He thought I would just be a nice little sweet lady.
This actually isn't from Chris. I bought that years ago.
Though?
No, rabbit.
Oh, that's still warm though.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's toasty.
Things were lined in rabbit. That'd be a lot warmer.
That was my ice fishing hat.
Oh, our son went ice fishing the other day. I was shocked that there was even ice on the lake, but he said there was like 5 or 6 inches. Weird.
I wanted to get her dad a raccoon skin cap one time because
he was attacked by a raccoon.
There was a rabid raccoon in his neighborhood, and they like put out a APB, like there's a rabid raccoon, be careful. And so him and my mother-in-law were in their little pool swimming, and this raccoon in the middle of the day came up and looked over at him. So picture this, an old man.
He did what any man would do and took his swim trunks
off and rolled them up and whipped the raccoon in the face to scare it away. And then he ran into the house. So picture an old Irish redhead man running across the yard butt naked. That's her dad. And he gets in the house. So now they're safe, right? Like 4 or 5 hours later, he's talking on the phone. He walks out the front door, and that raccoon was waiting in the bushes and lunged out and bit him in the foot.
Yeah.
And so he had to go get all the rabies shots.
Which is
and I'm like
100 shots.
Yes.
It's ridiculous.
I'm like, I'm getting your dad a raccoon skin hat for Christmas, and he wasn't happy about that.
No.
But I thought it would have been awesome, but he doesn't like raccoons now.
No.
Now, question. This seems like a very quick procedure to be able to pull your swimming shorts off to be able to do this? Like, were they already off?
Stop.
This is my father-in-law.
Don't even.
I'm just wondering.
I have a bad enough visual burned into my brain forever from this. I don't need to know what was happening before the raccoon showed up.
Logistically speaking, I don't think I'd be able to get my shorts off that quick unless they were already off.
I feel like the raccoon was hanging out for a
It
while.
might have been. Please tell me it was. No, I just thought that was funny. I was like, why is it your first instinct to like take off?
Pull you off your shorts.
Get naked. We'll scare it. Why is that your first?
Hey, Bill, what you doing?
Literally, we like probably shouldn't have laughed so hard at this story because he was
He wasn't-
traumatized.
Yeah, he was
from
mad.
all of his shots. It was like he'd had like major catastrophe happen, and we're like, "Wait, you were naked? Why was that your first instinct?"
Like,
My
was
first
picture-
instinct is not to get naked when there's a fight or flight thing. I don't know.
I picture an overweight redhead Irishman just running across the yard.
Oh god.
like you figured, you get a towel and whip it with that. You don't have to be as close.
Like, I would splash water at
I
him.
would have splashed water. Right.
He's like, get naked.
shoot,
Get naked.
shoot,
We gotta
shoot.
get naked. Take your suit off too. Like everybody's naked. No.
It's a trap.
That's terrible.
Right.
That is
But
terrible.
anytime I see a raccoon out in the daylight now, I'm like, oh, what's happening?
Hopefully there
Right,
isn't a
it's
guy
right,
running
the
around with
raccoon.
his swim shorts in his hand.
I love that the raccoon waited in the bushes and got him like 5 hours
Right.
later.
Like why was this raccoon just sitting there waiting and he stepped out on his front porch and then it just like got him.
Jimbo says he was dangling his bait.
Yeah, he was. Totally. He probably didn't have the trunks anymore. He threw them at the raccoon, had to run inside, and that was it.
Oh, that's too funny.
He's
How
like,
long ago was this?
Oh,
Probably at least 10 years ago.
probably.
10, 15 years ago. I caught her young, so.
Uh,
Right, I'm only 25.
Ted says he's Irish. It's a defense mechanism.
The defense, right? Right.
Oh, that's too funny. What are we,
Yeah,
2 hours? Wow.
See, we make it easy.
it's fast.
It did. It actually flew by. Well, what do you want to do? You want to keep going? We're going to take a break.
I'm good with it. I'm
Like-
gonna.
Go ahead.
He's
I think
already
we should
got
wrap-
pee break,
I gotta go to
so-
the bathroom because I have
Yeah.
a bladder. I can't smell. I can't hear.
Right.
How about we wrap this up and we'll do another one again later? I think we're doing 2 hours is good enough for the night. Take pee break. We'll leave it at dangle and bait. That's a good way to leave this one.
Right. Thanks, Dad.
Andrew, let me know how that. I'm putting you in charge of the fundraiser leggings calendar.
Oh,
The leggings calendar. We'll do this.
I mean, if anyone wants to submit pictures, hardworkingmanoutdoors@gmail.
No, do not send them. Do not send them to me. Andrew wants to make the calendar.
I
Send them
think,
to
I
Andrew.
think that's just. I mean, I'd give you my email, but
You're not
Yeah, I
gonna
would
believe
not
me,
do
but
that.
Jeremy Bell is good at yoga, so he
He probably has
he
leggings.
might.
oh, he likely does. Like he's a man of many talents.
What do you think he's really gonna think that I talked about that? Do you think he's gonna like?
Oh no, he's awesome.
He's an A+
Absolutely
hugger.
amazing human being.
He's a good hugger. I really don't care what he thinks.
I never knew I was inadequate in the hugging game, so I'm
Yeah.
gonna have to work on that.
It was a good.
Like
hug.
I'm sure we made his week.
No, it was good.
he's just awesome. I'm completely and totally fortunate to be able to work with the people I work with every week. They're awesome. They're amazing.
I do think though, with that cornhole board thing you had on your Christmas video, that would be awesome if we could set that up at Bunyan or somewhere, a cornhole tournament where you get in, maybe do something for charity or something. I know Brad was like, you don't get to pick your partner, you don't get a ringer like Rachel because she'll
I am
practice.
really good at cornhole.
Like I'm cool with you draw partners and do something and maybe donate the money or something. But I think that would be fun and be a cool video if we could do that.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's what we're planning on doing. We're planning on bringing the boards to all the shows. So
I think that would be fun.
and again, another great talent of Jeremy Bell is making cornhole boards
In
Stop.
leggings, while wearing leggings and hugging women.
Yes.
He's a good hugger. I'm sorry that y'all are inadequate or don't even know what makes a good hugger. A good hugger, it's hard to find.
You have to hug and sniff at the same
Yeah.
time.
I feel like I know a guy who
Even
can do
if
that.
the girl doesn't smell good, you gotta tell her she does. That's all it is. Like, you smell really good. Doesn't even matter if she smells like BO. Just tell her and she will think you're awesome. And say processor. That's it.
Well,
Sorry.
we'll leave on that note.
Yeah.
We had Hardworking Man. We got Rachel and Heath. Where do we find you? Hardworking Man, emails.
Hardworking Man Outdoors at Gmail or just on YouTube at Hardworking Man. Not Billy Ray Cyrus. It's put Hardworking Man Firewood or
Billy
something.
Ray
I think you'll find
Cyrus,
me.
Brooks and Dunn.
No, Billy Ray Cyrus and Snoop Dogg did a Hardworking Man too.
Oh.
Different Hardworking Man.
Yeah, they were like, man, that guy's getting big. We better
collaboration.
try to hop on his coattails.
That's right, James. We can renovate kitchens. It's over.
We got Andrew Easton.
Used
Find
to
him
make
at-
wood splitters. You'll be able to find me out and about.
Out and about.
Thank you, Kevin, for inviting us on
Yeah,
here. This
thanks,
was a lot of
Kevin.
fun.
Thanks for coming. This was awesome. It was fun. We'll do it again for sure. We'll get something figured out. And yeah, if anybody wants to find me, skitterkev at Gmail,
This
Instagram,
guy has all the
Facebook.
equipment that one day I'll have,
Mhm.
including that.
I don't have
the
any of it.
Well,
My
you
boss,
run it
my
all.
boss owns it all.
Yeah, but just tell everyone you do.
Yeah.
No, I love that stuff. I like watching that because it's just fun. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, it's fun to run. When you got awesome guys like Andrew making great stuff, it's makes it even better. And we can do stuff like this with a guy who owns a company, right?
Right?
Not many, we were back to, trying to end this, but talking to guys who own companies and stuff, being able to do something like this in a big company, you'd never be able to do it, right?
Right.
The CEOs tell you where to go.
Right. Don't sell out. That
Yeah.
was our message of the
Yep.
night.
You can never sell, Andrew. Sorry. You'll work
Sorry.
forever.
Unless you get enough money to make everybody else happy.
Unless it's millions.
I'll have to put a clause in there.
Yeah.
For sure.
All right, guys. Thank you. We'll see you on the next live stream.
Yep.
Have a good
Bye.
night.